he got a mentorship and also purchased the extra of me making it, so we're gonna do that. So, going off a scratch here, I'm going to first lay it out, and then I'm going to take it in Eclipse Studio to make sure all the lines are really nice. 1920 by 1280. Okay. And I usually make anything that I'm gonna do twice the size at least of how big it needs to be, just in case. Okay. Is this GIMP? No, this is Photoshop.
Oh.
No, I don't use GIMP. I only use Photoshop and Eclipse Studio. So, Paladin, are you okay with us doing a square for your video? And then, here, I'll just kind of lay it out real quick and you tell me yay or nay. It's okay, Fox. I also use like the light version. I don't do the dark interface. Some people use the dark interface a lot. Also, I'm hiding the top bar that says Photoshop that's way up there, and way over here, since it's more widescreen, I can't fit it all, but I thought I'd at least get on here what you need to see. Yeah. I know a lot of people use the dark settings, but using that after a while seems to mess with my eyes a bit. Okay, so I'm going to plan a little bit here for Paladin. Let's assume your HP bar is here. I might put your name in a different spot than mine is, just so you have more camera here, and then you were gonna have a tip jar eventually. It's probably gonna be over here. Oh, that reminds me. Let's see. If anybody has any questions during me doing this, for Twitch overlay stuff, let me know. This is kind of, I guess, a bonus for those of you who are, loyal to the streams and you're usually here. You'll get, obviously, be able to see me making one, which usually Twitch people don't do unless it's like a big, like a big deal. But since I need to do this anyway, I figured. Okay, Paladin, real quick, if you could look at the screen, this would help me out. We need to pick what jar you want. And for you, I'm actually thinking we should do a taller one. Unless you like mine being the little chubby thing in the lower right. Otherwise, it could be a really tall one. I would say either this one, or this one. The other ones are a little bit too, I don't know, hard to work with in terms of putting stuff around it. I'm gonna probably end up making yours look better than mine. Just because it's been a minute since I've done my overlay. But which one do you want? 1, 2, 3, 4. Because then I can plan around it. You like the chubby one? Okay. We'll do the chubby one. Okay. I'll probably move this up. How's everybody's weekend? Is anybody doing anything for, what's it called? What's tomorrow? Memorial Day. Okay. I know it's not clear really what I'm doing right now, but hopefully it will be. Doodling all day indoors. Hey, that's something. Relaxing's good. Does anybody actually like go to beaches anymore and do cookouts and things for Memorial Day? I don't even know what people do anymore. Okay, we're gonna save this then. And then we're gonna bring it over to Clip Studio and I'm gonna start drawing. Yes, digital stuff. I'm working on Paladin's Twitch overlay today. Ooh, there you go, Fox. I actually ended up being kind of afraid of going to beaches. I know that sounds stupid, but it's more like I'm afraid of the water now. Just what's in the water. I mean, I don't think that's too crazy. Because I remember when I was a kid that the water was gross. And like, I don't know, now I'm sure it's even worse. I don't know. This is the background of my desktop. Deal with it. Oh, Clip Studio, why are you being like this? There we go. Okay. I never need this. Yeah, germs. I'm kind of okay with germs. It's just more thinking of the gross things that people do in the water, like boat exhaust and stuff. Ooh, that's not good. Oh, Clip Studio, you're being difficult today. Problem with having 3 monitors, I'm telling you. It's good and bad. There we go. Okay. Let's focus on this real quick. So, oh, do you, Paladin? Oh no. Yeah, I know about tap water. I don't know why I'm more okay with drinking tap water than I am swimming in a beach. I think it's just thinking of kids, and I don't do like community pools either. Like that kind of, ugh. Yes, Paladin, same thing. Yeah, ugh. I'm not a germaphobe, but something about like the idea that someone's defecating in the water or something is a little bit too much for me. That I cannot do. Okay, come on. Does select all layers even if I don't want it to. There you go. Okay. Proud of you guys who have been working on Journey June. I'm killing it. Oh yeah, not even just fish poops, yeah. Exactly, Fox. And I mean, I know a lot about elderly people, and I love elderly people, okay? I love the elderly to, like, more than kids, more than, you know, a lot of people. But they're kind of gross, and that's part of the reason I never go into the gym pool, because it's always usually that's how they are able to exercise, you know, all that. But, something about it, it's just kind of a little, I don't know, kind of ishy. Actually, let's not do it with G-Pen. Let's do it with, what do you mean you don't know what to do, Fairseal? Yeah, I'm kind of with you on that, Paladin. So Paladin wanted like a castle, old school kind of D&D feel to his overlay. So I'm gonna go that route. So want it to look a little bit rickety. Just because, you know, it's old stone. So old stone would be a little bit gnarly, so to speak. And then I'll put moss on it and stuff in a little while, but right now it's just good to get the basis in. Farasila, what do you mean you don't know what to do in terms of like the story? Or, because you already got your character, right? Oh, also, just to mention, so I noticed a couple people for certain prompts were doing things like just doing a character design. Okay, try to think that these aren't so much about the character design so much as the staging and the composition and telling the story. So in, for example, if it says magic mentor, that doesn't just mean draw the magic mentor. That means to try introduce the magic mentor to them and have them somehow interacting, and typically show the hero a lot if you can at least work the hero in. If you want to bring in the other people, cool, but don't just have, you know, every character standing epically. You know, have them all doing something. They all have a job usually to do, or a task or something, you know. And this is where storytelling gets hard. You have to put yourself kind of in the shoes of each character to kind of think about what they'd be doing, and then, you know, when they interact, making that be important, you know. Oh no, Cass. Well, tell me what you guys are confused about. I'll help all I can. Because honestly, this is part of, I guess, the special thing about coming to Gabe and my streams. You can get, like, you know, help with stuff. You can get ideas generating. A lot of the people that'll be partaking in this that don't come to streams, you know, they're gonna maybe have trouble with things. But what are you blanking on, you guys? Yeah, it is good to just take some time and maybe just write down on a sheet, like, an outline of what your character's gonna do in the formula we've given you. It's supposed to be more plug and play. That's why it should be a little bit easier than just writing a story on your own. And, I mean, Cass, this is exactly why we're trying to do this, so you're not blanking on one of your stories or something. You know what I'm saying? Because this is actually going to get you into the habit of how to do a story, right? Because if you're trying to do your own story, you might even have this problem then, and then, you know, there's nowhere to turn to for that, you know what I mean? Oh, Nightshade! Thank you! Is Subshrub. I got digital today, so you get them on my camera. And the Melancholy Clover. Shrub Nub Rub. Shrub Nub Rub. Thank you, Nightshade. Are you doing anything for Memorial Day? I know you served or whatever, so you did something. But Cass, yeah, lead me through it. What's your malfunction, I guess? What's your issue? I want to help. Gabe's here too, you guys. He's just quiet and working. If anyone has any questions for Gabriel. Gabe, say hi.
Hello.
I know, Nightshade, right? It's for Paladin, so I figure I can show you guys how to do an overlay, something like that. I might be going a little too crazy on the different shapes, so I'm going to actually stick to doing some rectangles here, so it at least looks mortared. This is what I'm saying about Clip Studio. Look at this smooth line shit. Ah, cool. That should be fun. Is it really hot where you are right now, Nightshade? Maybe. Okay, so that's For us, I'm gonna be trying to kick ass on a couple commissions. And Journey June prep still. I'm a little scared that I'm not gonna finish them today because I told a lot of the owners that I was gonna send them out tomorrow. Oh shit, I can't. There's no mail on Monday, right? Because of Memorial Day. I got an extra day.
Oh.
Yes. Oh man. Woo, I didn't even think about that. Oh, that is a good feeling, yeah? Yeah. Shit. Awesome. Anyway, I gotta buy a mini PS4. It's Gabe's fault. Oh no, Gabe.
What?
You made a Paladin's kid want a PS4, so now he has to get him a PS4. That's the American viewpoint. So since you're not in America, Paladin, you don't have to buy your kid shit. Yeah, we have an air conditioner. It's actually brand new. When we moved into the apartment, they had fresh paint and a brand new air conditioner, and it's been great. The problem is getting it to circulate throughout the apartment. So really, we have two big fans that we direct the air, because it's. I'll draw it really quick. Our apartment is like this. There's a room here, and then our bedroom's here. This is the bathroom. I don't know why I did that. Bathroom, kitchen, dining room, whatever. Actually, this is all the same room. Hold on. There's no wall here. Anyway, so our air conditioner's here, right? But our bedroom is here. So we have to get the air to go this way and into the bedroom. So we have like a fan right here. And there's actually, this goes more like this because there's a hallway. And this is kind of our game room. So we need a fan there and then another fan here to get it to blow in there. So kind of sucks because like I said, I don't want to pay too much money to get it circulating like that. But you know, I guess everybody might have that problem. I don't know. Yeah, no mail. Okay, Cass, that makes sense. So, you don't know what story to pursue or what genre. So let's think, I guess really simply, what do you like to draw right now? Like other than your ladies, because they're very detailed. Your ladies are very detailed. They're beautiful, but in terms of a story, you might want to start, because this is story focused, it's not character design focused. So this isn't the time to show your design chops. If anything, this is to show your simplicity chops. So if you want to do, I was going to say a chibi version of Delilah, or Delia? I forgot your character's name. It was like Delia or Delilah or something like that. But I wouldn't do that, because like I said, I don't want you to include previous characters. I would pick something that you are comfortable drawing, that you can do simple, but at the same time you could revolve a story around it. So Cass, what are you into right now? What's your happy list? Remember I had you guys write happy lists? Which is like 5 to 10 things that, regardless of how good you can draw it, you enjoy drawing it. What's on there? Oh, Paladin. Paladin, no! Then he'll always get his way. He can't do it.
Maybe just this time.
You are so bad. This is another reason we can't have kids.
This is a PlayStation. God damn it.
Gabe does this crap all the freaking time. If we're eating bad, okay, real quick. We made a casserole yesterday. You know how big a casserole is, right? Like it's, what is that, 13 by 9 pan? Yeah, it was like a 13 by 9 pan, and I made this delicious casserole. It was pretty big.
I'll give you 11 by 17.
It wasn't 11 by 17. Give me the actual pan. I can show him.
Measure out. It's 11 by 17.
Okay, it's an 11 by 17 pan. Whatever. I used to have a 13 by 19. That's what I'm saying. Anyway, it's 11 by 17 pan. It gets
Glass.
done. We put it, half of it in the bowls, and then we're like, all right, that should be enough. And then we go watch Deadpool and eat it. And when we're done, we're like, this is really too good, and let's keep going. So we ended up polishing off an entire 11 by 17 pan of casserole. I have no regrets, but at the same time, it was about 1,000 calories each because I had counted. It was a lot. But what was I talking about before that? Casserole. Oh, I forgot. Either way.
Oh, me convincing you to eat it all?
Oh yeah, Gabe
I mean-
always convinces me to do things for the dumbest reasons. His base one is, oh come on, it's Tuesday. What does that mean? It's Tuesday. Or whatever day it is. He'll be like, Saturday.
It's alright, it's Saturday.
He treats it like it's a special occasion. That's the thing. Oh, well, you can do it. It's Tuesday. It's like, I don't give a shit. What do you mean it's Tuesday? Well, did you work hard yesterday? Yeah? You deserve it. Like, you're so bad about that. I mean, good bad, but still. It drives me crazy. So anyway, right now, what I'm doing is a couple different outlines for the pieces of his overlay, similar to mine. I haven't gotten a chance to upgrade mine yet. Kind of looks like ass. It's okay, I admit it. It's been a year. I should update it if I get a chance. But I'm making things that I can use or rather he can use in various areas. So like this could be the same as this bar that I've got here that goes from kind of the top to the bottom. We've already discussed the sort of things he's going to add on his overlay, so I already know that, this area is going to be the camera, this is going to be an event list, down here will probably be similar to a donation bar, and his bit jar is over here. However, the bit jar I'm going to treat a little bit more fun. But I assume you're probably going to have an HP bar in here similar to this one, so that usually goes on top, because below it, it's got a little message area, so that big blank spot under Bodhi's name, right under here, that ends up saying like, this person hit for this much and all that stuff, so you can't really cover that up. But anyway, that's what I'm doing with this. The stuff like the moss, I'm going to be doing a little bit and change my, whatever you call it, the line width to not be so consistent, because obviously it's organic and very crazy. It's moss. But then for the bit jar, I was thinking it could actually be pretty cool if it were like a castle bit thing. Oh, start a new layer. New layer. Oh. But Kaz, we're happy to help if you're stumped. I mean, I get it. It's one of your first stories you've ever done that's gonna happen. So if you want to talk about it, we're more than happy to, because you might not be the only one that's freaking out, And we want to help. So if you want to talk about it, let us know. Otherwise, we won't force you, obviously. Actually, that's too big. To the side. That's another reason I don't do digital on the stream, is because I get too into it, I feel. And I lose track of what I'm doing elsewhere, so like, if I forget to look at the chat, forgive me. But like, for some reason I always need a little bit more concentration with digital. gonna save this brush. That's probably better. How big is this? Bigger than that. There we go. Okay. Can I save this? I'm still new to Clip Studio, so I'm still figuring stuff out. Let's save this. Huh. I don't know if I can. Well, either way, I'll remember 9.1 then. Yeah, Twitch overlay. X Twitch overlay. So the thing that's on my screen, that's got all the wood and brown and junk, I'm doing that for Paladin right now. So this is his overlay. So this one will be, the one I'm doing right now will be surrounding his bit jar. So he'll have that. But yeah. But he wanted a medieval kind of castle theme, but kind of old school. So the old school part of it, to me, means that it's a little bit more Saturday morning cartoon, a little janky. A little bit more rough when it comes to just its design, stuff like that. And then, like I said, I'll be adding moss and stuff. We'll be taking these back into Photoshop to color them because I like Clip Studio's line work more than Photoshop's. As you can see, it's got a stabilizer, it's really nice. It's really good for line art. I made my entire coloring book in Clip Studio, and I do not regret it. Oh, Ushi! Thank you for the sub! You get the sub shrub in the thing today, because I'm doing digital, obviously. So, rub them shrub nubs. They're actually his hands. Don't think it's gross. It's not gross. And then the melancholy clover. He's here too. He's always so melancholy. Look at this face. Look at this. He's so not happy. It's crazy. Also, you guys, I'm really excited because the flowers that I've been trying to grow since February? I think I started them in February, maybe March. I've been trying to grow elf sunflowers, which are basically like dwarf sunflowers, and they're finally gonna bloom soon. They have their bulbs at the very top that are starting to open. If you want to see what that looks like, it's on my Insta story. But you make it pings. GIFs you only use if something's animated. But this is gonna be going back and forth a couple times. But that sort of stuff I usually tell you in the Twitch mentorships I offer. And that's part of the reason I'm helping Paladin with this now. Is he got one of my Twitch mentorships. And like I said, Paladin, if anything we talked about the other day doesn't make any sense, feel free to hit me up or ask me. I will be happy to oblige and help you figure out what's wrong. And this is how I justify my mobile game background, because this is basically the same crap. Designing Twitch overlays is very similar to doing UI for mobile games, in all honesty. The only difference is you don't have to worry about button pressing or hit areas or anything like that, because a Twitch overlay you don't have to interact with. It's solely just visual. Hey Calavera! Good to see you, man. Gabe stepped out for a minute, but he'll be back. And since I changed my line width on this because I'm an idiot, I'll go back. Spongy! Aw, you're the best. Thank you. Oh, Spongy is so sweet. You get a shrub, rub, nub, rub. Was it shrub, Sub, shrub, nub rub for good luck. Oh yeah. Sub, shrub, nub rub. Wah. That's really hard to say. Sub, shrub, nub rub. Try it. I'm not kidding. It's very difficult. The nubs, the shrub nubs. So since oh no, this will be fine. Okay. I'll show you guys in a minute the main reason I use this program. I mean, you can kind of tell right now, but since it's so consistent of a line, you can't tell how good the stabilization is. But I will show you in a moment. My Cintiq's so funny because it has like this dent in the bottom of it. Granted, I've had this thing for 7 years now. This is a 13-inch Cintiq. Remember, you do not need a Cintiq. You do not need the best or the biggest or nothing like that. Make sure if you ever want to buy one that you've earned it in terms of skill. I feel like I've earned it because it's not going to make you a better artist if you're not one already. If you're not a good artist already, it's not going to help you become a better one. So make sure you're only thinking about getting one once you're a good artist. Or at least a decent artist. But as I was saying, so right now if you look over on this side of the screen, you can see the tail end of this preview here for the pen. I made it so it's consistent, so the beginning and the end are the same, right? Now the usual thing with that is that it's got this variation, right? But the stabilizer, which I usually have set to 55, which is kind of big, but look at that. Like, that is some smooth shit. Like, Photoshop just added a stabilizer, but it cannot compete with this at all. Like, you can see when I draw a line that it's like I'm pulling it, you know? Like, it's gotta, let's see if I can. You have to kind of play with it a while to understand how you're pulling it. It feels very tactile though. But really, like, it's fantastic. And as I said, I did a whole coloring book using this. Oh my god. The line work was just, so good. No, the stabilizer sucks! They should really just try to acquire it from Clip Studio. If they did that, it'd be amazing. I paid $60 just so I could have this. It's so worth it. I can't even tell you. It's so good! And like, oh my god. It's just, it's like when you're trying to do a curve. Look at that curve, man. It's so smooth. And I mean, you can dial it up or down however you want. But this stabilizer, like, nothing compares to this thing. Anyway, back to this stuff. If you have any questions on that, let me know. But, yeah, so Paladin, I was gonna add a cute little banner on the bottom of this that's got your name on it. Sorry, 9.1. There you go. So I was gonna do something like this. It's gonna make it a little bit different than mine. Because you are a different person and you deserve special stuff. Oh yeah, Fairseal, right? A friend of ours, actually, when we were at ASEN this weekend, they have Clip Studio for iPad Pro. It was amazing. It was basically having a Cintiq on your lap, you know, detached from anything, that you could use this kind of technology on. I'm gonna eventually get one, I know it, just because it's so good. Like, it is stupid good. And I can watch movies in the other room while I do it. And they have an app that actually ends up treating your iPad Pro like a Cintiq, so you can hook it up to your computer and use it like a tablet Cintiq, you know, like a monitor tablet. It's pretty good. Oh yeah, Calavera, it's great for that, isn't it? Like on days I've had too much caffeine or something, it totally fills in the blanks, man. No, I'm with you, that's great. I just don't understand Photoshop's, like, serious hang-up with it. It's crazy. Like, the fact they haven't done anything with it yet, it's like, are you guys serious right now? You know how behind you are? Alright, I'm gonna do a little extra here, just in case we decide we want to pull it up more. I'll eventually kind of show you guys what this is gonna do. A little bit. I can't show you too much, otherwise that renders my Twitch mentorship a bit obsolete. So, honestly, what would be really cute, Paladin, is if we had a little GIF that was on top of this, that a little creature poked out of a hole every once in a while. Do you have any love for little creatures of any kind? We could add that in. I'm always into stuff like that. Also, I'm so glad I just gained a day due to a holiday. You have no idea. That means I'm not as scared about today as I was, because I was gonna stay up probably way too late again. I was up till 4:30 last night. Ooh, in the AM. But yeah, tiny dragons. We could do that. Just like a tiny little dragon head that pokes out and spits a little fire and goes back in. We could do that. That could be easy enough. In fact, I would maybe even put that right here. Dragons are the best lizards. True story. I'm gonna make this smaller though. And then I actually learned to animate in Photoshop after after I wasn't able to get access to Flash anymore, or After Effects. I'm a big fan of After Effects, but when Adobe changed their thing to subscription, you have to pay so much more to get those other programs, which I feel is a terrible decision in terms of getting people to learn your stuff, you know. And I figure they just want you to pirate it, to learn it, and then buy it eventually or get on the subscription. But you know, at the same time, it's like, well, I wasn't doing anything commercial, which, you know, is the main reason they want you to buy something, so you've actually got it legitimately. Which is, you know, that makes sense, especially if you're a freelancer, you need to buy your programs and all that. But in terms of like me making stuff for myself, like, I really miss doing animation. It's my thing, you know. But they really took away a lot from us, I feel. But anyway, yeah, animating in Photoshop is stupid easy though. The only problem is you can't sync up like audio easily, not as easily as Flash or After Effects. And not only that, but you can really only do frame by frame. Puppet animation in Photoshop? No. Like, puppet animation is best on, I would say, After Effects. It was amazing. I was really good with that program, and it was really beneficial for me in a lot of ways, because I was able to take everything I was able to do in Illustrator, Photoshop, Flash, and put it all together in After Effects. Actually, if you guys want to see something that's kind of old of mine, here. I will show you something. This is an old animation I did. When did I do it? 2010? No. I don't even remember at this point. This is even when I was hardshell art, so it was a while ago. But anyway, here you go. It's a long time ago. Yeah, no, Calavera, that's what I'm saying. You need After Effects to do anything else with it, because Photoshop won't let you do anything. Believe me, I was very proficient in After Effects. The problem is I don't have After Effects anymore because it's so much more money to have that and Flash and anything else. Right now, just having Photoshop is only $10 a month, which is really nice. But to get any of the other programs, I wish they had like an a la carte thing, so I could actually just be like, well, I want Photoshop and I want After Effects, and that's like $20 a month.
I think they might know.
No, because they're
Huh?
all part of, like, Photoshop being $10, it's part of the photography suite. You get different suites.
Mm.
They make it a package deal, which sucks. I hate that. Yeah, I used to actually have to do, like, commercials and stuff in After Effects. Oh my god. After a while, it was just too much doing that, but I loved working on my own stuff. That was the best. Okay, so finish this up. So we've got his bit thing right here. I'm trying to figure out where we should put the banner. Maybe we should put it on, yeah, okay. So let's do this. I'm gonna hide that. I'm gonna go back on this one, go above it. I'll move it over here. We don't even really need this anymore. Yeah. Oh, cute, Calavera. Get it. Get it, pony. Get it. Break dance. I love it. It's cute. Good job. Mine I entered into a animation festival, actually. The only thing that kind of sucked about that was I didn't win. And the girl that did win, I feel like her animation wasn't as good. I'll be completely honest with how I felt about that. I think the only reason she won was because hers was really sad compared to mine. And it had, like, you know, heartstrings pulled and all that junk. It's like, well, alright. Because mine was happy. Obviously, you guys can see that. It's kind of morbid. It's morbid cute, but I felt like there was a lot more in terms of technical prowess there, like with my shots. Yeah, the timing's off in a lot of areas, I'll admit that full-heartedly. I was not at the peak of my editing, but she seemed to win just based upon that, you know, she had something sad. I was like, damn it. I don't know. And it wasn't even, I don't know. I'm still bitter about it sometimes, honestly, but knowing where we're both at now, I'm okay with it. Honestly, mine was based off the song. The song is a French song called Poppin' Gum, and it's about, you know, chewing bubble gum and drinking pop. But whenever I heard it, it's by Superbus. Whenever I heard it, I pictured it as two characters. So I ended up just being like, I'll just do that. I'll just go with it. And so, hence Poppin' Gum became a girl who drank pop and a boy who chewed bubblegum. And at the time it was based off, the guy was based off one of my boyfriends. So, another reason you shouldn't base characters and stuff off of real people. You don't stick together,
Even if I use the blender.
Yeah, here, hold on. Gabe's gonna use a blender thing real quick, hold on. You didn't give me enough time to mute it the second time.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Sorry if that hurt anybody's ears. Next time Gabe will tell me earlier. If he needs to do it again. He's making coffee. Damn lines. Usually when when this happens, you just want to make a brand new line. Do I want it to start? What are you guys doing right now? I'm guessing Cass left because I asked her a couple questions and she never got back to me.
Freaked. I can't do this.
That's not very Cass-like. Cass doesn't freak out and run. Cass, she's very confrontational. She takes it head on. Drilling and hammering. No. Actually, I'm the one that does that in the relationship. If ever we have to put up, like, a shelf or anything, usually it's me. Gabe did, however, put up his own shelf. Yeah, I'm mentioning that. The first one. I did everything else, though. I usually put up everything. No, he's using the NutriBullet to crush the coffee beans. So. No, you're not Spongy. Sorry, I keep forgetting. You're a different Cass. So I'll say Gossamer. Gossamer Cass, not Spongy Cass. Sorry, Spongy. No. Ooh, updating your Patreon. Nice. No, Gossamer Art Cass. Is she even here still? She left. What the crap? We gotta talk to that girl. I know she's under a lot of stress, but... No, sorry, Spongy. I didn't mean to give you a fright. I'm glad you're back in the chat, though. Did we? When? What did we do? Let us know what we did. Gabe's dying.
It was a hang up.
Okay, let me see. I think I'm gonna do the moss now. And usually I do things in different colors if I do start layering them. I didn't do it for the banner just because I thought I'd recognize, but I'm gonna do it with the moss. So I'm gonna switch to having this be less consistent. Paladin, you like moss, right? And this can be a little bit rougher, honestly. Okay, this is where I actually want to turn the stabilization down, because now it's too inorganic, where I want it to be a little bit more organic. Honestly, maybe I should just do this part in Photoshop, because I can depend on it being ugly, which is what I want it to be right now. I want it to be a little ugly. Moss is supposed to be a bit. I'm progressing. I also want to do my laundry. But I did work. Good, Uchi. Good job. I think I saw him. 1 tier, $100. It's fair. There you go, Crane. You've got that. So fair. That's not a bad idea. I think everyone should copy that. Everybody go make a Patreon, do a $100 tier. Also, it's good to see you in here, Crane. We missed you. We do worry about people when you're not here, you guys. Like the fact Gossamer Art came in, had a little freak out and left. Now I'm gonna end up messaging her and be like, what the hell, Cass? Sorry, Gossamer Cass. Also name your layers, because I'm stupid. I'm used to working with a shit ton of layers, though. Only for video games and stuff. You shouldn't work with too many layers. If you're gonna become good at like digital painting, I feel like you should use minimal layers and minimal undos, just to kind of replicate the same permanence that traditional art can have. Well, thanks, Fire Seal. Bye. See you later, man. Oh yeah, I don't know if the gym's open tomorrow either. Gabe, can you check that? I'm glad you're feeling better, Crane. I'm sorry I couldn't help more. I'm not sure what to do, honestly. I've never been good at that sort of thing. Yeah, right? It's catchy. Popping gum? Yeah, even if it's French, it's damn catchy. I love it. I know the ending is very Fight Club, but that was intentional. I was super into that at the time. Hopefully none of you thought about it until I just said it. That means I did something right. But if you did think about it when you saw it, okay. I get it. That's fine. Alright, let's go over here. Let's make another one. Where is this? Is this the top one? That's the top one. Okay. So far it's only been an hour, you guys. Look how far we've come in an hour. It's great. Granted, I have a lot of practice with this stuff, so don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Tried watching Rocky at the gym today. Forgot how slow it is. It's pretty slow. Hey, Cactus! Therapist, fix me. I'm not your therapist, I'm your mentor. I don't know how to do it. I really am not good at helping people with mental health problems or anything like that, or people that are sad too often or anything like that. I'm sorry if anyone's ever come to me about that. I am so bad at that. I'm sure I've got something of my own I have to deal with, and I have no idea even how to do it with me, so I apologize in advance. I probably cannot help you. I can't even help myself. But there are people out there who can. So if anybody is ever feeling sad or like super depressed, or you feel like maybe you do have some sort of mental health something or other, definitely go seek help. There's no shame in that, especially for seeking out somebody who is trained with that, you know? At least they can try to help you and tell you, you know, what could potentially be your problem. If you just keep talking to people around you, there's definitely no guarantee that you'll get help from that. It's the only problem, really. I actually dig that. That'll work.
Yeah, it's open regular hours.
It's regular hours?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's do some here. Yeah, right, Crane? That's how I feel about it. I want to help, but I know things I would say wouldn't really help because I get to be too much of a hard ass with certain things where I'm not soft enough. And everybody needs a different way to be dealt with, you know? Everybody has a different way of dealing or a different way to be therapized, you know? Or just to feel better, to be comforted, to be taught different ways to do things, all that stuff. I don't know how to do that. And to be honest, like, I was not raised with those sort of skills either. And I wasn't in a healthy environment, so like I said, I'm really not the guy to go to. And I just recently figured out, probably last year, to start just owning up to it and telling people, hey, I'm sorry, I cannot help you. I really want you to get help. I want you to find somebody. It was actually during the beginning of my Twitch career, I guess, last year. There was somebody who came to our stream a lot, and he was always very, very depressed, and I felt really bad, and I wanted him always to get help, and he'd start messaging me on Instagram and asking me for help and stuff, and I didn't know what to do, you know, and all I could tell him was, you know, seek out a professional, because, you know, if you keep trying to ask people who aren't qualified for this sort of thing, you're gonna not only be let down a lot, but they're not qualified to help you. You need someone who's been trained with this sort of thing, just like anything. Like, would you ask someone who's not a doctor to, you know, amputate your leg? No. Same thing with mental health stuff, man. You gotta go find somebody who knows what they're doing. Just because it's in your brain doesn't mean it's any less important, you know, to get someone to look at it. It's the same stuff.
A mind is a beautiful thing to waste.
Thank you, Gabe. We watched Men in Tights recently, so it's on the mind. It's on the mind.
Beautiful Mind.
We also watched Beautiful Mind, which Gabe hadn't seen before.
I didn't like that movie.
You did?
I didn't like that.
You didn't like it?
I did.
Why didn't you like it? Just
I
because
started
it's
to
sad?
hate it halfway through. Because I was like, oh, this is bullshit. He's not really in the CIA. Oh.
But that made it better.
No, and then I was like, oh, this is, you know, and I was like, oh, this is just gonna, this is depressing. And, you know, this is
Gabe
just turns
doesn't like
into
depressing shit.
this turns into a shitty ending. Like, oh, this is what I have to deal with. Thanks for the life lesson, buddy. But then
Oh no, Ushi.
it fixes.
Are you admitting to something? Ushi, go get help. You guys, get help.
I think the worst
Me
problem.
too, Spongy. Me too.
The worst problem is it's hard to find help.
I know, especially if you don't have a job that kind of supports that sort of thing. But I mean, no matter what, I feel like you have to do it.
But they do have like
Oh yeah, Gabe does know about this, actually.
what?
That there are alternatives.
Oh yeah, no, I mean you can go to like
I didn't know this, by the way.
you can go to, well, I mean there's free clinics, but I guess the free clinic isn't really going to help you much. But I mean there are groups just like AA. Hell, you could even go to AA
Robin.
and they can help you there. You know.
Yeah, but Gabe did teach me because Gabe's been poor basically all his life. So he actually helped me out when I went from career to freelance, knowing what I could and couldn't do anymore without money. Because I've always been self-sufficient. I didn't come from a rich family or anything like that. It was lower middle class for sure. But all the money I've ever made has been by me. But when I was in a career, obviously I had health insurance, and I've always had health insurance and stuff. And up until I became freelance, I didn't know you could still get help if you didn't have insurance. And Gabe was able to teach me you don't need insurance to get help. It's just a different method of doing things. Which to some of you that might sound really naive, and that's okay because I was naive. But it is good, I feel, for people to know that even if you're poor, there are still ways to do things. So, you know, if you don't have health insurance, if you don't have this sort of stuff, there are people out there that care about you that have made programs for you to get help. So, and like I said, a lot of people don't realize that, and like I didn't realize that, so I think it's good to bring up. But anyway, so now we're back in Photoshop. I'm going to start coloring things. So the funny thing about making an overlay is you basically make it knowing the stuff that's going to be behind it, but not necessarily being able to put it together yet. So yeah, I will eventually get to that when I give Paladin the pieces, and then I'm going to walk him through how to do it. But up until then, like, this part over here probably won't even see, the bottom of it won't even see it'll probably be more like this. And then we'll have a little dragon pop out of there or something. And then this corner stuff up here, this will probably even be cut off a little bit like that. So knowing that, I'll probably go up a little bit on the left and above it, just a little bit more, just to give it more buffer room. I used to have this sort of thing with mine, but it just ended up being too thick. Like, I had wood on either side of me, but also I hate these new pop-ups that Photoshop has. Have you guys seen these in the new Photoshop? You like roll over a tool and it shows you what to do. I can probably turn those off. I just haven't yet. Technology previous. There we go. Nope. I've been using Photoshop since I was 12. Please. Right, Ushi? It's funny, the magic bullet thing. People ask for that not only for mental health, physical health, art. Like, everybody wants an easy way out. There is none for usually anything, you know? Oh, wow. Yeah, Crane, that sucks. I'm glad you're better now. Ooh, what's that, Paladin? Cactus, this is actually for Paladin. Paladin got the Twitch mentorship with me, and I offer for a little bit extra if you want me to make you a quick base overlay. And he did that. I have a magic bullet for art. It'll cost him money. Honestly, that's kind of true. It's not just a magic bullet, though. It's like magic injections. I feel like if you get the right mentor or person for you to teach you things, like Gabe, in his case, his mentor like skyrocketed him into the industry. He knew what he was doing, the mentor knew how to use Gabe's abilities, and was able to actually have Gabe grow exponentially in the time he's mentoring him. That didn't cost him money, though. He just had connections. But I assume the same thing would work if you found a good mentor. They knew their shit. They knew what you needed to get where you need to go. But also, it's not just pulling you by the hand. You guys have to walk together. So that's the other thing. Today I ended up posting in the Discord, I don't know if some of you saw it in Journey June, but there are people that will not be stopped for what they want to do. And it's hard because there are some people you cannot motivate, you cannot do anything with them because they just deep down don't want it. So the people who are gonna get it, go for it, you know? If they want to get good at something, they don't need convincing or motivation from other people. They're able to do it themselves. I mean, that's kind of how Gabe and I got where we are. And if they want it bad enough, they'll find a way. But it's one of those things, you know the people who are going to go get it and who's not. You can't force someone to be motivated, you know? A good motivator can kind of amp you up, but at the end of the day, it's you who actually takes the steps towards it. It's the whole, we can show you the door, you have to open it, blah, 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 blah. Calavera, talent doesn't exist. Predispositions to certain things exist, but talent should be swapped out with the word skill. I always want to just bash people over the head with that. If I can tell you guys anything, don't say the word talented anymore. Say skilled. It's going to mean a lot more. Because talent is like, people think it's God-given, you know, you're born with it, like you said. That doesn't exist. You might be more predisposed to understand color better, but that's not necessarily talent, especially if you never end up using it, you know? But skill is being able to be hardcore into something, research it, apply it, make it yours, that sort of thing.
I think the problem is like when you're a person who's not like predisposed to doing shit better, and then people are like, "Oh, you're so talented. You're a natural." Like, no, bitch. I worked like 20 years to get this good.
And I think Gabe and I are like that. Like, I'm not naturally predisposed to anything. I have bad eyesight. my hands shake. I have all these bad things that would usually, hold someone back, but it's like, I don't know. I don't understand color better than someone else. I don't understand anything better than someone else. And like I said, a lot of my physical stuff doesn't help me with art. So I'm not talented. I'm skilled because I worked at it. Gabe might be able to understand color better, unless it's... Have you always been able to understand color, or did you acquire that?
I think I've always had a little bit of a understanding of it.
Okay, so you might have a predisposition toward color.
But I think, yeah.
Okay.
Just like I think you have a predisposition to being able to break things down and figure them out and figure out hacks.
That I acquired.
You did?
Yeah, that I acquired. Because my impatience actually ended up molding me to be able to simplify things. I am very impatient, and I will be first to admit that. And it's weird because some things I'm really patient with, but most things we gotta go. Like, I can't stand waiting for some stuff. It depends. It's really situational, but when it comes to my art, I'm mad at myself for not being a certain spot already. So in a lot of like the past of my career, my freelancing, all that stuff, like the only reason I've gotten as far as I have with the Pets and Armor thing is because I got mad at myself, and I'm like, I am not doing this fast enough, I'm not doing this good enough, I need to figure this out. Like, my impatience just drove me. So maybe that's my predisposition. My talent is being impatient, I guess. I don't know, I've never thought about it that way, but yeah, I don't know if that's considered that, but yeah. I am creative, but I feel like that was also acquired because I didn't have any friends really growing up, so I had to be creative. It was one of those things. Like, I was molded by it, You're good at everything, just not yet. That's a really good quote, Spongy. You should add that in the Discord. I like that. It's true, too. It should be for any kids to know that they can do whatever they want. It just takes time and effort. That's the thing that I think my generation grew up without knowing. Like, a lot of the kids when I was growing up is Disney generation, right? You can do whatever your heart wants. You can be the guy. They just never said, with hard work and effort, with time, because so many of my friends just feel like they should be great artists right now, and they haven't done anything to earn it. And it drives me crazy, because it's like, they already think they're starting to make it, and they're not, because they're not even applying themselves. So it gets frustrating. It's like, you don't see that you should be applying yourself, and you're not. Oh, a sister date. Gossamer, we need to talk. So wait, I don't even know when you left, but I started talking to you for a little bit. Wincest? Ugh, what? Crane? What? Who's that to? A talent for making cheese disappear. Oh man, you'd fit right in Wisconsin. Whoa! Spongy, that's nuts! I love that quote, though. Crane, I don't even know what you're referring to, though. Were you referring to my story or Gossamer's story? Confusion. Anyway, okay, let's get back to this junk. I'm going to tint this. It's another reason to do things in layers, you guys. Okay, so that's 57, 63, 61. 57, 63, 61. Is it 61? Shit, I already forgot. 61? For goodness sake. Yeah, 57, 63, 61. Okay, so it's gonna be the moss. It's okay, guys. So what we were talking about was, hold on, I gotta link these. I was asking you what part of your story, and like what you wanted to do. So I think it'd be good to figure out what you want to do, and then from there, like, what do you want to draw? Because whatever you want to draw, you can kind of revolve a story around that. I'm just saying, don't choose something that's already established in your mind, because that's going to taint, I'll say, it's going to taint what you end up doing. So you want something completely fresh, and that's where it it's a little hard, but at the same time, think about it like it's exciting. But yeah, this is where, we're saying that Journey June's good for you if you want to be a storyteller, because you have to finish stories. You have to do stories. You can't just say, I have all these stories. No, you don't. Until you make them, no, you don't. How about that? I say that all the time, that I have stories, but at least I've got preliminary work for each one of them I could prove, but yeah. Okay, Cass, what was your happy list again? Remember your happy list? The 5 to 10 things that, regardless of how you draw them, you enjoy drawing them? Do you have anything for that? We can start there. And this goes for anybody. If anybody here is stumped on Journey June, you don't even know where to start, maybe follow along with us. This might work for other people too. Oh, if you guys just want chat, do twitch.tv/cloverkin/chat. That's what I do. So I don't even have my video up or anything like that. I just have the chat. So Goss, sorry. I would focus on what you want to draw, because then at least you'll be happy drawing it many, many times. And then we can figure out what kind of a thing to make around it, Why is this lagging? Well, if you think so, Cactus. You do know you don't have to finish, like, the drawings fully, right? They can just be sketches. Like, you take 30 minutes to an hour, maybe just during a lunch break, whatever, you can get something out. But I mean, it depends too. I'm finding a lot of people that seem to have more of an emphasis on illustration are thinking they want to do Journey June, and really, I really want you to do it if you want to do stories. If you want to be an illustrator, and just an illustrator, that's different. Because you're going to have a different approach to the prompts and stuff than a storyteller would. So that's where we're trying to educate the difference. Because yeah, illustrations tell stories, but to be able to take a panel or a page illustration and keep communicating what's happening over and over and over again, because you won't be able to just say magic mentor and draw a magic mentor just doing something magical. You have to incorporate that into the story, right? Because it's continuous. It's not just a character design. But yeah, a full screen video in the chat on top of the video. Oh, that's what you mean, Crane. Hey, there you go. Ushi, good approach. You just want to draw a cone-shaped person. See? Simple.
Oh, actually.
What?
I got something for you.
You guys, like, focus on simplicity with this, at least in the design sense. Because Twitch is on drugs.
My buddy did this comic ages ago, but it's basically just a little kid. If you click on Rice Boy, simple as shit.
Chapter 1, where even I'm lost.
On the top.
Go to the just first page and then put the link in instead.
Oh.
Like, because they have nowhere to go, because I don't even know where to go.
There you go.
So that goes to the first page?
Yeah. Or I guess
No,
not,
the
but
first fucking
go
page.
on.
Yeah. Like, it really doesn't have to be crazy good, you guys. You can do flats, you can do pencil. I can't stress enough that this is not about illustration. This is about storytelling. Okay, so if you're more into being an illustrator eventually, like just an independent artist doing illustration, maybe don't worry about this. I mean, but if you have stories in your head that you want to start practicing and getting out, if you ever want to make a story that you've written and you've illustrated, you have to do this. Okay? Otherwise, it's not going to happen for you. A lot of people can't get their shit in gear to actually do a story. So we're trying to help. No, that's good, Ushi. No, that's one thing. Okay, so I'm actually glad Crane brought this up. If you guys don't finish Journey June, if you start it and, I don't know why you're scared about it, but if it is me related, don't worry about it. Okay? If anything, like let's start it at a 0. Okay? I'm at a 0 for all y'all, even myself. Bye, Cactus. Thanks for coming. If you do it, I'll be glad. Okay, I'll be like at 100. And I'll teach you how to make a book. I'll be so happy to teach you how to do a book. If you don't do it, I'll still be at a 0. There's no negative, okay? The negative should be from yourself, not from me or Gabe. We're not going to be disappointed. We're just going to be, I don't know, you're not at the party at the end. How about that? But you guys are doing your own thing. You've got your lives going on. But remember that I was telling you the other day, if you ever want to be an independent artist or a freelancer, you're going to have to learn how to organize your time to be able to do all this stuff. Okay? Like, I have 3 commissions I'm doing right now. I have to run a month challenge, okay? And the social media for that. I have to do 2 mentorships, okay? And I have to go to conventions. It's a lot of stuff, right? But I have to find time to do all that. And I chose this life now. This is my life, so I have to be happy about it because I chose it. And I am. It's better than the desk life that I didn't like. If you like it, cool. I know. But you will have to figure out how to do this. So if you're like, I've got classes. Okay. I feel you. I understand classwork. But this is important too. So if you've got a bunch of number 1 priorities, what do? Are you just going to drop a couple? Or are you going to try to do them all? Because that's going to be very telling of your character. Okay? And if you're going to make it or not. And I know this is a little scary on more of a deeper level. And it is. It's going to be telling of your character. Not your character you make, you yourself. You know? And I mean, unless you've got a medical condition or something, I totally get that. That's unrelated. Totally unrelated. I'm just talking about motivation and the excuse of, I don't have time. Get rid of that excuse. It doesn't exist. What if there is no excuse of, I don't have time? What if there is, I have to do all this? Next step is, how do I fit it all in? Figure out how to do it. Don't just write it off like, I don't have time. How much do you care about it? Do you want to eventually write stories? I don't know. Just saying. I understand, Spongy. It becomes Journey July. It could. I mean, if you really, really don't have time, someone dies 3 times in a month, I don't know. Something happens that's crazy, because this is an entire month, you guys. You can't tell me that there's not one day in an entire month. You can't get maybe 3 hours to pump out 5 sketches. You know? Like, I can't even fathom that. That's so much time. There's so much time in a month. Like, if you're watching a movie, doodle. You know, think about it. Like,
maybe don't
so
watch a movie this time.
Or, yeah, don't watch a movie. Like, you're gonna have to make sacrifices to get what you want. This isn't I'm going to do the things I want to do and do this thing, necessarily. If you can, awesome, you're a master. But you're going to have to sacrifice stuff. It might be sleep. It might be you know, any leisurely activity like gaming. I don't know. Like, it's one of those things where if you're gaming a lot during the month, once or twice, whatever, a couple hours here and there is fine. But if you end up failing Journey June and then complaining, oh, I wish I could have done it, I wish I could have blah, 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 and you were playing games all the time, I have no sympathy. Then you weren't meant to make stories, man. If you are a storyteller, you won't be able to be stopped. Don't sleep for 5 days. No. Okay, so I'll be the first to tell you I need sleep. I become a heinous bitch if I don't get sleep. So sleep is one of those things where when I have to give that up, that means I screwed up big time figuring out all my other things in the day. Because sleep for me is like one of my number one things I need. So if I have to sacrifice that, like I said, I screwed up somewhere. And I shouldn't have eaten dinner for so long or something like that. Or worked too much on one thing that wasn't as much of a priority as something else. Like right now, I only gauged to work on this for 2 hours and then work the rest of the night on the 3 commissions I have. Now that I've gained a day, technically, with Monday, I can spend a little bit more time on this. So you eventually train yourself how to reorganize your time. Oh, Spongy, thank you. Yeah, and the kids thing, I get that. That's tough. If you have kids and you're trying to do this, I understand that is going to be tough. But if your priority is, can I video game and also do Journey June, that is not, I have no sympathy for that. As much as I love video games, or used to, I have learned to forego things like that don't end up bettering my circumstances for, you know, what I've got now. If anybody has any questions, just let me know. Sorry, I know I get real a lot. You know what's really tough is watching a video of me getting heated up about this sort of thing. It's not embarrassing, it's just weird. I don't know. You ever seen a video of yourself arguing with somebody or getting fired up about something? There's this weird thing where it's like you want to do certain things better, but you can't help it because that's how you are when you're in that mode. So like if I wanted to be softer, let's say, when I get like this, I don't know if I could. You know? I don't know. Thank you, Spongy. Well, it's true, and I feel like the people I grew up with and the kids nowadays feel like everything's going to be handed to them, you know? And the people that actually work their asses off to get where they are usually don't have a platform to talk about it. They're not on Twitch. They're still working fucking hard. Okay, so they can't come and tell you, hey, work hard to get this. You know, like people at Blizzard and all that sort of stuff. And the only people you know, see like that, hold on, I just got distracted. You know, they're working themselves, so they don't have time to really do anything like this. And the people that do get actual advice from these people are the people that get up close to them, so they actually go through the work of going to like BlizzCon or something and like actually going and meeting these people. So that's when they actually get it from the people that don't have platforms like this. Granted, Gabe and I haven't worked for any huge companies. Well, Gabe, I guess, worked for DC and Marvel, whatever. But like, we just know though, because we know those people, you know, what they did to get there. We watched them go up, you know? And we're okay being the middle guy. We don't want to be famous. We don't want to be anything like up there. Like, you guys know me, I don't want to be a cog in a machine. Some people are happy doing that and being part of a team. That's awesome. I'm not that guy. But, like I was saying, you're not going to get to hear this sort of stuff from them, but it's the fucking truth. That you need to work hard. You need to sacrifice things. Or else you're not going to get there. And you're just not. So, if I can tell you anything, if you're one of those people that's like, I don't think I'll have time, get rid of that right now. Stop it. And just when it starts, think that you have to do it no matter what. Like, imagine that there's some bad thing that's looming over or something. If you have anxiety, I'm sorry, I don't know what to tell you about that. But that's another thing. Like, I don't know how to explain how to deal with the fact you need to get something done if you have anxiety. Like, I don't, because sometimes, like, the world will not wait for you to not have a panic attack or something like that. And this is where I get a little too hard. And I know it. I know I should be more sensitive to that, but it's true. The world doesn't wait for it to be over. You know, so I'm not saying Journey June is like this. I'm just saying in terms of, you know, stuff like that, people are getting more sensitive to the fact that's a thing, but at the same time, you have to kind of assume it's not. You know, for your own welfare, I guess. Punch the mirror. Yelling at myself in a mirror never actually did anything. I was never a person to be able to, like, say a mantra really or anything like that. I had to, like, logically reason with myself. Like, the something is better than nothing, that's true. That's just true. I can't deny that. And I had to figure out something to tell myself that I couldn't deny, rather than being like, I am the best, I can do it, I can fight this, I can, like, that doesn't work for me. Quotes work for me. I'm burpy, I don't know why. Yeah, Spongy, yeah! That's great! I did that entire mouse story, the magic mouse story I have with the girl and the guy. I did that entire thing on lunch breaks. And I only had like a half an hour lunch break, so I made sure to get down what I needed to get down during lunch, and then when I got home later that night, I didn't have to think, because that's when I was burned out, was after work. I couldn't think anymore, and that was one of my first steps of figuring out how to work on my own projects after work, because I was always burnt out. And I know some of you feel this too. You go to work, and some of you have art jobs, and you get home, and you cannot work on your own stuff because you are spent. Either from people or doing creative stuff, figuring out problems all day. I get it. The thing was, I had to amp myself up throughout the day for my lunch break. I'm like, okay, I could do this and I can do this. All right. So when I was at lunch, I went and I would draw it, at least sketch it out exactly how I saw it, step back, take a break, and then when I got home, it was just technical stuff. And then I could just ink it. I didn't have to think. And then just color it, and it was, at that point of the day, it was more about relaxing and just doing ink work. It was more meditative, you know, because you didn't have to think about composition or what's happening in the scene, anything like that. I actually used to my advantage how much I was thinking at work for thinking of my story, because you're in that mode, you have to be at work. So I used that, and then when I got home, like I said, I used the other part of it as, you know, relaxing. Sometimes you gotta do that. You gotta split up. It's not all just a sprint. Sometimes you gotta, you know, have checkpoints. I totally get it. Yeah, Calavera, I know exactly what you're talking about with the circle jerk kind of art group thing. Yeah, there's no growth. However, if you're in an art group where everybody is driving themselves, it's pretty good, but then the problem there, every group is going to have their problem. That problem is feeling pressure. And if you're not good with pressure, some people fall behind. And then they feel that, and then they're, you know, whatever. But each group has their problem. You just have to find a group where the problem is something you can deal with, you know. Right, Ushi? Yeah, lunch break drawings, man. I'm telling you. Use the beer as watercolor. Crane, we have a friend who basically just draws with coffee and wine. She just, and that's her thing, and she's getting known for that. So you're not far off with the beer. If you want to start doing that, go for it.
Look up Google Whiskey Painters of America.
Yeah.
That's a thing.
Oh, Spongy, that's wonderful. I'm glad you have the coworkers you have too. Yes, Ushi, honestly, yes. Because that can help you get through meetings. And if you're not one of the top people that needs to contribute and you're there just to honestly be a body, yeah, do your art during the meetings, definitely. Aw, Spongy, that's so awesome. Those people are invaluable. Good for them. And good for you for having buddies like that. That's great. That is one thing I miss about a career is the coworkers. I have really nice coworkers. The higher ups sucked, but my coworkers are great. They were the types that after a week or whatever that was kind of, stressful, you guys would all go out or go to someone's house and have a party, and then it was still fun. It's not like you were being forced to be with anybody. I think that's when you've got good coworkers, So if they're those types, I think you're very, very fortunate. And it sounds like you know that, so that's extra good. My only coworker is Gabe. But I'm more than okay with that. I earned a Gabe. Didn't I, Gabe?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Meow. Doing flats right now. Okay, that part's done. So this is this one and this. This is a bar. I take that, I do this, I do this. So I know Journey June kind of has a not so high chance of succeeding, which I'm okay with. I get it. Not only just because everyone doesn't apparently have time for it, but it's its first year. And you guys had, 2 weeks to prepare? However, I almost feel like if we do it again next year, that 2 weeks is good. I feel like if we gave a month, it'd be almost too much, to where things would get forgotten or whatever. At least 2 weeks, you still feel a little bit of pressure, but, it's enough. But anyway, yeah, I'm not expecting crazy success out of Journey June, honestly. It's more like I'll be surprised, It's one of those things where you shouldn't go in with expectations, because you shouldn't go into anything with expectations, because you'll most likely be destroyed. So I feel like it's smarter of us to just kind of be surprised if if people do it and it helps some people, awesome. If no one really does it, okay, Gabe and I are going to do it. We'll end up with books. Okay, So that's, I think, part of the mindset you need to have. We're going to do it. And that's it. Even if at some point we fall behind, we'll pick it back up. We'll have it done. There'll be an eventual book of it. The book part for me is what takes a little bit, because I get kind of particular about certain things with how my books end up. But regardless, we're not doing this for us, you guys. I hope that's really obvious. We've done this countless times for ourselves. It's for you, and if you don't want to participate or you end up dropping off, we're not going to be disappointed. You should be disappointed, and if that's the case, just finish it. I'd honestly be extremely pleased if someone, let's say, if they dropped off, I'd be like, all right, I get it. But if, maybe July or August, they came back and they're like, I finished the story, could I potentially still get the class? I would almost be okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
Really, I would, because I'd be more excited that you finished it. And if it was to the point where you wanted to make a book of it, and you were so driven to get it done, regardless if you got the class or not, that you come asking me for it, like you want to learn, I think you've earned that. Don't you? Like, I think you have to earn the right to learn things. I don't think it should just get a, pay, get out of jail free card, Anyway, I'm lit today, I guess. I don't know. Sorry. Well, Ushi, it depends on what you do, too. I mean, I could see some people just work is work, don't befriend anybody, whatever. I just want to be here and work. I've worked with a couple people like that. They never went to any social things or anything like that, and I get it. I totally get it. If I was working with people that I wouldn't normally hang out with anyway, yeah, I wouldn't hang out with them. I don't blame you at all, Ushi. It's totally fine. I feel like it's, up to you and if you're compatible with people. If you don't want to be, that's okay. I don't believe in forcing people to do things they don't want to do. Like, if you have a friend that always forces you to go to a club, and you don't want to go to a club, and you never want to go to a club, and you've been to the club like 6 times and you still don't like it, don't go to the club anymore. Seriously, then you're just wasting your time. Maybe if that's the only time you see that friend, maybe they're not the right friend for you anymore. Who knows, Oh, that used to be my life too, Ushi. Yeah, small talk sucks. I don't believe in the team building things. I think if it's going to happen, it's going to happen naturally. The team building things always felt so, like, especially when I was friends with everybody and we'd have a team building thing, we would, have fun. And then the higher ups would be like, oh, we're doing so well. It's like, no, you just hired a bunch of people with the same mindset, which is what you should do, in certain cases. Like, they're just the same level of fun, for this sort of thing. But, like, the ones that just hate higher-ups and stuff, like, we all did, because the higher-ups were, like, 40 plus, and everyone they hired was, like, under 30 at the time. We were all under 30, and it's like, that's a parent-child situation. Of course you're gonna get some, anyway. No, X, definitely not. Sorry, guys, I'm not going to do that. The class will not be just a thing I give you. We're going to lead you through 3 different ways to make a book, okay? I'm not going to take the time to make a PDF of how to do all 3. I will not. I'm offering you what works for us to be able to teach you.
That's like something then that can be, given away.
Yeah, then you guys are passing it around to people that may not have earned it and stuff, and it's like, if this is the thing we're kind of using as a prize, we have to treat it as such, Otherwise, it's similar to our mentorships. If, we give out stuff for our mentorships and it just starts passing around, it's like Patreon. When people get the bots that take all their Patreon stuff and then just start distributing it for free, you can't do that. No, the class is a class. It's going to be, we're going to teach you how to do a PDF, we're going to teach you how to do a zine, and we're going to teach you how to do a physical book. And if you don't want to do that, okay, but it's free and you earned it. I'm not going to give you a worksheet or anything like that. You know how much work that is to write that up? I'm not going to do that. No. I don't have time for that. I have time to explain it to you and to walk you through it. That's it. Sorry. You get what you get. And I know Gabe feels the same about that.
Mm-hmm.
We do not have time to even do this challenge, let alone the class. So if you want it, get it.
Documentation is a lot more...
Like, I'd have to be getting paid for that. I'm not getting paid for this.
Like, I gotta take screenshots and edit photos and...
Yeah. What's my favorite shape? A heart. I know that's super trite, but...
On a clover?
No. Well, a clover technically is made up of hearts. If you think about it. That's kind of what my pen was supposed to be. But, I was gonna get there eventually. We'll see. Crane, what?
Maybe Crane is at the bar right now.
Are you at the bar?
Or the pub.
Ah, true, Paladin. Good point. Yeah, so, Ushi, that's probably a good thing. Have you read through it all first, using your character and kind of their arc? So here's what I would ideally think for you guys to do with Journey June. Create your character, okay? Kind of figure out who they are personality-wise. You know, what they would do in a situation. Use something simple, like if they just saw someone steal something from somebody, what would they do? Okay? Something simple like that, like a moral situation. So just use one, think about that, and be like, alright, well, they're that type of person. Then, read through the Journey June expanded prompts. Take them through it, and kind of figure out what they could be doing through all of them. Okay? So then, you kind of have this really rough little outline just mentally in your head. And then, if you want to write it out, cool. That way you'll remember, you know. But this is the whole thing with brainstorming, and I know I seem like I'm being really hard with this, and I am, because this is not an easy thing. That's why this challenge is so different from the other art challenges. This is not easy. It's not even an easy thing to teach. Like in schools, when they do storytelling classes and stuff, I had a storytelling class, and mainly it was more storyboarding, but they explained certain arcs with stories and character arcs and how you intertwine them and stuff. We can't really do that. That's why we're just giving you the hero's journey, because it's pretty simple. You can almost copy any movie or something that you like, that you know is a hero's journey, and basically just apply your own characters. This is just so you understand the steps you need to take to make a story. So, I know it's kind of rough, but the key is to stay simple. Occam's razor this bitch. Okay? Simplest answer is most likely the right one, right? It's like we said, if you end up having a simple story and you want to elaborate on it, that's way easier than doing something way too complicated and having to scale it down halfway through the month. That's going to seem bad. So start simple. Like, if you can finish it really quickly, in terms of either the day or the entire challenge, awesome. That means you kept it simple. Good job. As long as you did all the prompts and you did them close to what they're supposed to be, you did it. You know? It's not as hard as a lot of you are making it out to be. Some of you guys are like saying you're scared about it, and I'm not sure why. There's nothing to lose. And I mean, you'll have time to do these. You know? Yeah, I mean, I even gave you guys questions to ask yourselves, you know, and what to focus on. What other art challenge does that, you know? And especially if you keep coming to the streams, if you're having a problem with a prompt for that day, or if you read ahead and you're like, I don't understand this one at all, ask us. We're happy to help you through that. We're never going to get mad at you for asking us anything, okay? Seriously, we want to help you. That's the whole reason we're doing this. I'll be mad if, like, afterwards you're like, I didn't have time to do it because I had a wedding to go to. And it's like, a wedding? That's like 2 days tops, maybe 3.
You knew about this wedding.
Yeah, you knew about this. I have no sympathy for that. Sorry.
I mean, unless you got dragged to it, but...
Even then. But, like, obviously Gabe and I are very teacher-esque when it comes to this kind of crap. I totally understand all my teachers now. That were like, if you don't do this, fuck you. Like, you're in my class for a reason, you know? If you want to do this, do it, you know? I had a couple teachers that were hard asses like that, and I loved it. Because when you did the assignment, you earned the assignment. Like, you did it. That was the self-gratification, was that you finished it when other people, they didn't even start it, you know?
I lost my hard drive?
Yeah, I lost my hard drive. Okay, what do I care? Like, that's not on me. And that's when I started learning a lot about people back then. During college, when they would give excuses like that, it's like, you didn't plan ahead. okay. You know, and they're talking to you like, oh, you're supposed to fix it, teacher. It's like, no, what? No, this is your education. What are you talking about? If you failed, you, you know?
I loved when they would, when the teachers would be like, oh, okay, well, you understand that in the real world,
In the real world,
your
yes.
boss wouldn't give a shit that you lost a hard drive. You fired.
Yeah.
You are now fired.
No, that's so true. And I had a couple that did that, and those were my good teachers. A lot of my teachers that weren't that way, oh, God.
I feel like those teachers don't give a shit anymore. Like,
I don't think
they're
they ever did.
burned. Yeah, or that, yeah.
Yeah. Like, a lot of them were the young teachers that got hired on, honestly, that hadn't been in the industry before. Like, they're teaching because they couldn't get a job. I like the teachers that had jobs and came back and were able to share their experiences. Those were what I felt I was paying for. And that's when I felt super cheated, was when, you know, I learned that one of my teachers didn't even have a job in the industry. And it's like, well, what can this person offer me? You know? It's like, what am I paying for here? Anyway, sorry.
I feel like in those situations, like, that should have been something that, now that I think about it, I mean, we didn't have that problem. But I feel like if that had happened, like, I would have raised some hell and I would have been like, yo, what? What's going on here?
Yeah, I don't know. Crane, I don't know if there's a July challenge.
Yeah, it's called Stay Cool.
Yeah, stay at home and conserve energy. I don't know.
Go to your favorite library and check out some books.
Books.
Some books.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think there's a July one. There's a couple June ones, honestly. I don't know if they're month long, but they're all Illustrator challenges. And, you know, like Gabe and I were saying, we want to kind of offer something different to the people who are different. Because for, you know, actually maybe it's more selfish. Because a lot of the illustration challenges, it's like, okay, I'll do this, but, you know, I'd rather be writing a story for me. And I just assume other people might think the way I do. Like, you know, I would have to kind of fit, or Gabe did 100% when he did Drawtober. You know, that's mostly an illustrative challenge. Like, each day is different. It's not meant to have a narrative, anything like that, right? He did it as a comic. He made every single theme go into the next theme. So, like, one day that was a certain type of character, that character would meet the next day's character, or the next day's theme would affect that character. So he was able to do that, you know? But I feel like that's just what a storyteller does. You're gonna wedge it in there somehow because that's how you want to see it, right? We're illustrators, but I think foremost we're storytellers. So we're gonna take that approach to anything. And I feel like some of you out there the same way. You just haven't been able to, I don't know, just do it yet. Yeah, and that's what we're trying to do, is give you the chance. So, I don't know. I guess that's where we're coming from with that. We were sick of just Illustrator challenges that we were trying to retrofit into our process. This way, we're making a process to fit what we would do anyway. But yeah, like I said. I mean, if nothing else, you get to see Gabe and my stories, I guess. I don't know. Because it's weird, when you eventually get to the point where people are depending on you for art, and you have to figure out how to appease all these people, that's a whole different scenario than just like a desk job or something like that. And I think you need to kind of be prepared for that if you're going into it. If you want to do cons and commissions and freelance work and all that stuff. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention I have a part-time job with all the rest of that crap. I have a job that requires 20 hours a week. We do cons. I have commissions, at least 40. And I mean, I'm doing mentorships and I do Twitch. So to me, just looking at all that, there is not enough time for me to do everything. There just isn't. So I really have to be delicate with how I prioritize stuff. And sometimes that can buy you a lot of time. If you are really good at prioritizing and knowing, well, this thing's due at this point, this one doesn't need to be done before then, a lot of the time what I'll do is if I need to do a couple concept sketches for my part-time job I've got now, I'll do that early in the morning, send it to him so that he has a couple hours to get back to me. In that time, I'll work on the commissions, and if I have to stream, I'll do it in that time too. He hits me back with revisions, and then I do them as soon as I get them, send them back to him, and then by the end of the night, I'll have the next day's directives that I'll have to do, and then I'll do it again early in the morning. So, because he's on a certain schedule, I'm on a certain schedule, I need to still be fitting into his somehow, right? It's crazy. It is crazy, but it's exciting. I like it. Right, Crane, yeah, I've seen that. Crane's being a troll. He's always a troll. He's one of our top tier trolls, actually. He gets VIP status. But yeah, teaching is a skill. I have a friend that is a teacher, but he's not the best at it. He's more of a monkey see, monkey do. So he'll show you how he does things, but as far as how to do them, not so much. Top tier in something. There you go, Crane. Here is your participation trophy. Thank you for attending. You did the thing. Yeah, I absolutely agree. Teaching, is a skill. And I'm not going to say I'm a good teacher. I have no idea. I know how to be a real person. Does that count? I don't know. But yeah, Gabe and I know how not to tell people bullshit. I think that helps. Paladin, you still here? How am I doing on this? Are you okay with this so far? But yeah, I think, honestly, you're a really good teacher if you're honest and you are able to communicate what you're trying to say well. I did have a teacher who English was a second language for him, and it honestly was kind of difficult for a lot of us. He was a great teacher, but it took us a while to kind of decipher the communication thing, the language barrier. And I feel like it's not just the language barrier for a lot of people, but some people just can't describe things well either. Like, I'll be honest, one of my failings as, if I even am considered a teacher, I don't even know. But one of my failings is that I jump around a lot. Unless I have time to prep for something I'm going to show someone, I will jump around a lot. I don't do chronological order unless I've had time to prep. Otherwise, I end up doing things kind of how my brain does them, like how I do them. I don't do them the way someone else starting them would, So that's one of my shortcomings. I jump around. Gabe, what would you consider one of yours?
Procrastination.
As a teacher?
Oh.
He hasn't been listening.
Lack of like not knowing the right word to say to call.
Okay, so yeah, you're saying the same thing I just was with almost a language barrier.
Yeah.
There's a communication problem. So I feel like a good teacher is a good speaker and communicator. Like, I feel like they can say things clearly, concisely, and able for a majority of people to understand. And like I said, I'm not that, most likely.
I think I'm better at teaching someone while watching what they're doing.
Yeah.
Like
I
if I can
see that.
if I can see them doing it, then be like, no, stop. And then I correct them as they're going.
Yeah, that's a good way of looking at it, actually. I could totally see that. Did I really, Crane? Awesome. I don't even know how to take a punch to the face. I think patience is part of being a good teacher, and like I said earlier, I'm very impatient. So when I have to wait for something or someone to start doing or getting something, it's a little hard for me. So that's one of my things. That's so weird, Ushi. If I could, like, actually learn philosophy, I'd love to. That was one of my favorite classes, you know? No, I wish there were more, like, I don't know, almost extracurricular things that could have to do with it, you know? And not just have it be job-based, because I don't necessarily want a job-based in philosophy, but it is so interesting to me. I can't help but be captivated by it, I guess. I don't know. I love it. And all the stuff you've told me, I've just eaten up because I think it's so neat.
I know we don't read things, but
Yeah.
I started reading The Tao of Pooh, and that's really good.
I'm sorry, the what?
The Tao of Pooh. They, like, you know what Taoism is?
Yeah.
Taoism and Winnie the Pooh are like, they go hand in hand.
Oh.
Like I don't know how they make the correlation, but
People have made the correlation, though, of Seven Deadlies, even with
Yeah.
Winnie the Pooh.
but like there's this book, I have it, but it'd probably be best to just
Read
listen
it?
to it. But
I'd love to listen to that, yeah.
but they basically go through
Oh, that's why. Piece of shit.
the different Taos or whatever the fuck, I don't know.
So one of our Journey June things is going to be research. You guys have seen, you know, the countdown we've been doing, and that every countdown day kind of has a tip or kind of a, I don't want to say a mantra, but something to focus on with Journey June. One of them is going to be research. And honestly, if you're an artist of any kind, you're going to need to learn how to research stuff. So in my case, I knew a couple things about honey, but because Hazel is going to be a sort of herbalist, honey merchant witch type to have different types of honey, I wanted to see how honey is made because I'd have to actually show her doing that, right? You'll have to kind of think through, okay, if your hero has this job, what does that job entail? I had another story with a mouse that made candles. I've seen a couple things on candle making, but I wasn't like well versed enough in it to actually depict it, so I went looking more. So you're gonna have to research a couple things unless you know something backwards and forwards. I mean, maybe the hero's based off you and you work at Walmart, let's say. I don't know. Then your first-hand experience can absolutely play into that. But I usually like learning about stuff, so and plus I've never done anything crazy interesting, you know? And a lot of the things I want to tell a story about, I would never really do, I guess. I mean, I'd candle make something if I could. But, like, Gabe, have you had to research anything for yours so far?
No,
No?
I haven't even I haven't thought about a lot of it.
Okay, so Gabe's gonna be the type to wing it.
Yeah.
I'm never really the type to wing it. I half wing things. If I know I don't need research on something, I'll be like, I got this. But if I want to, like, you should want to depict something correctly if you are doing something based off something real. How about that? You know, research is a good. Motorcycle maintenance. Who is Crane? Me? Or Paladin's teacher? Oh, Ushi. Ushi is a great teacher. Yeah. No, I would actually like to learn things from Ushi. He's told us a ton of stuff that has been super interesting. Ushi, what was that, curbing the population Wikipedia thing, or there was something about babies, and we were talking about it. It was a really good Wikipedia article. If you want to share that, again, go for it. Because I'm a firm believer that if you get offended by reading something like that, you're not willing to learn enough. Like, if something scares you, you should still be okay learning about it so that you know it exists. You can have your personal thoughts about it too, but I feel like it's an intelligent thing, like a sign of intelligence, to want to know about things, even if they freak you out. So for me, I don't know. Ushi and I had talked about something that was a little taboo, but I mean, regardless of how I feel about it, I thought it was extremely interesting. I liked it a lot. It was a really good article. But it's just that sort of thing. It's like the people that are overly religious or political that don't want to try to see the other side of the argument, and that just goes for anything. If you're arguing with somebody and they don't want to try to see it from another point of view, you might not be arguing with someone worthwhile. You know, arguing with somebody is tough, you know. Deep sea creatures, ooh. Every cradle is a grave. That's what it was. Yeah, that was a really interesting look at population. And I agree with it. I mean, for those who have seen Avengers, I agree with Thanos. I'm on his side. I don't know. Does that make me a villain? I don't think so. I think it just makes me logical. I don't know. Perspective, right? Anyway, okay, so what's that? Got the other ones. I'm gonna render these out too. This is where it gets tough. What are you working on, Gabe?
Okay.
Thinking. Ushi, do you want to summarize it for Crane, or do you want to link the Wikipedia article? It's up to you. You don't have to do anything you don't want to do. But it's just I think it was the moral dilemma between bringing a child into the world you know is going to have a harder time than the previous generation. And is that fair? Or should we just let the human race die out? Like, it was pretty deep. It depends on how deep you like getting. But, hold on, X, you don't even know the whole thing yet. Hold on. Don't go into ranting until you know the whole thing. Ushi, if you could link that article, that'd be great. Just so people can have a full understanding of the question before you respond to it. How about that? But, yeah. What?
Just people jumping the gun.
That's another part of, I feel like, intelligence. Like, wait till the full question has been posed. Because then I think of, like, I'm going to say it, Trump supporters who are arguing with, you know, someone who is an anti-Trump supporter, and they'll just start spouting stupid stuff. And it's like, okay, what?
Oh, bananas! Bananas are going to stick because the Mexicans! Whoa, what? Yo, that's all y'all eat? Fried bananas?
Oh, what you call them? Plantains.
Plantains. Now they got different bananas. What the fuck
Were
is
they
going
ever
on?
bananas?
Chiquita ain't even around anymore. Chiquita's some lady who works at the KFC.
Thank you, Ushi. Antinatalism. I might have to... Antinatalism. I'll try to remember that. Best type of person. Well, Crane, that's up for debate. I'm not saying people that have kids are any one way different than people who don't want kids. Whatever. No, I'm not saying you guys are ranting. Sorry. I'm saying just that to be able to talk about the same thing, we need to know exactly what we're talking about. That's all. I didn't mean rant. I don't use rant in a bad way either, by the way. If I ever say you're ranting, I don't mean it in a bad way. Because I rant all the time. I don't think my rants are always bad. Sometimes they can be bad. But if you rant, it just means that you go on for a little bit. I think that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why ranting is a bad thing.
I think because the internet.
Yeah.
Because everyone would, like, in a blog post or a forum post,
Yeah.
they'd be like, all right, rant over. And they're like, oh, God, that was atrocious.
Yeah, that does give it a bad connotation.
Give me the
doesn't it?
TLDR.
Yeah. No, whenever I mean it, I just mean, what is a positive word for a rant? Does it exist?
Not anymore.
Explanation, maybe? That's as far as I can think.
Long-winded essay.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't see ranting as a bad thing. In other words, I don't know. Does anybody have a rant about ranting?
Let me tell you about my Uncle George. Jorge, they call him.
Honestly, Crane, with some of the things you say, you bring up, like, another interesting point, though. I know you're just being trolly, but, like, you saying that, I mean, some people do, like, the ones that don't care about the environment as much, those kind of people don't care because they won't be alive, so they don't care about how it's treated. I don't necessarily care about the environment because of, like, I love the environment and I care about it, but I don't do that for the future generation. I do it because I respect the earth. I don't respect people, I respect the earth. Like, I want the earth to live. People, meh. Yeah, Fox, I'm not saying you're irrelevant. I hope you didn't take offense to that, because that's not what I was talking about. I never said anybody was irrelevant. I just wanted you guys to be on the same page so you're not necessarily missing each other before we bring up what it's about, I guess. See, Calvary, that's a completely other viewpoint of it. I love it. I love people's viewpoints of stuff, you know? I think it's cool. And everybody's got a different reason to have the viewpoint they do, you know?
I don't know what y'all are so worried about. We're going to be living in space in like 500 years anyways. Get over it. Get over it. Start learning how to float. Why do you think they got those...
We'll be dead, man.
No, why do you think they've got those skydiving things that you do? The wind tunnels. They're just teaching you how to live in space, yo. Apollo 13 and shit, all these movies in space? Come on. You think they invented Star-Lord just for our entertainment? No. They're teaching us how to live in space.
Calvary thinks you're fucked up.
Aliens? Shit. Why do you think they have all these movies? They're just breaking us down real slowly.
Ooh, he's got a good point. Androids will live in space. They're the final evolution of mankind. You mean androids or cyborgs? Who gave
Probably-
Gabe caffeine? Gabe caffeine. That's hard to say.
Gabe.
Gabe. Yeah, Gabe. No, Gabe. Coffee.
I think it'll be not androids, but yeah, like cyborg. Like we'll still have some
Bionic people?
Yeah, like you'll have your
Improvements?
yeah, like you can, you don't have to breathe air. You don't have to breathe.
I still like the whole, remember The Abyss?
We gotta watch that again because I don't remember much of it.
Okay, well, the part where Ed Harris is like, his helmet's filling with liquid
Yeah,
that's oxygen infused.
yeah,
That's cool.
that's real.
I know, but this is cool.
They really did that to that rat.
Dream of Electric Clovers.
Yo,
Oh no, what happened to Goss's thing? Oh, I need a new laptop soon, she said. A Mac. And then the chat blew up.
honestly,
Cass, talk
Cass,
to us. Another, like, DMing and stuff about it.
Hey,
We can give you pros and cons of each.
we got a laptop for you. We got a bridge to sell you.
I would not give her that laptop.
No.
That one's old.
I-
You did something to that. It's sick.
No, it's old. That's the problem.
The poor
It
thing is ill.
It is 5 years old, I think.
So is my
So-
desktop.
No, I know, but it's also it's crammed. It's like a it's Simon Birch. You know what I mean? You
Its
know?
heart is too big.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's just it's a
That got deep.
it's a MacBook Air. Let me see when I bought it. It's a MacBook Air and
Get a Mac desktop. Sorry.
yeah. So I bought it in 2014.
It's a good computer. It's just at this point it's starting to go, I think.
Mid 2014. So it's actually in a month it's gonna be what is that? In 2014, 2015, 2016, 17, 18. So yeah, in about a month it's gonna be 4 years old.
Oh, happy birthday.
Yeah. But because it is a MacBook Air, I think it's just everything's crammed together. So
I'm gonna
much.
say though, if you are serious about images and doing illustration and anything related to graphics, Mac is known for being a better device. Okay? I'm not pro Mac, Apple, pro PC, either way. Like, I don't like Apple products for phones. I will never have an Apple phone. But as far as my whole, I'd say 20 years of being a PC lover and then switching over to Mac and being illustration based, you want that. Okay? PCs aren't meant, I feel, for imagery at their core. Okay?
Windows is not meant.
Windows
for
is not
imagery.
meant for
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Windows is the problem here.
Yeah.
It's not even the PCs. If you go out and you build your own PC and you throw Mac on it, cool.
Yeah, sure.
Then you're in the clear. But dude, you know how many times I've had to restart my computer in this past week?
Gabe is working on a PC, by the way.
Yeah, and like
If they're wondering.
if I don't have time to update something, I don't have time to update it.
If you're gonna be a gamer,
Mm.
get a PC.
Mm-hmm.
Hands down.
Hands
I'll
down.
give you that. I will give you that. But if you are an illustrator or an artist and you use things like Photoshop, After Effects, Illustrator, Flash, anything like that, get a Mac. I'm not kidding. Yes, there you go, Ushi. Yep. See, we're fair. We're not crazy for no reason, you know? Like, if there was an area that I felt like PCs just dominate, sure. I will concede to that. Absolutely. But so far, my Mac has had no problems with viruses or anything like that. And I never even went on porn sites or anything on any of my PCs. And I still got viruses. I have never had a virus with my Mac. I don't know.
I wonder what people use like.
No, Crane, because remember, I worked for a mobile game company. I had to work with Apple phones. I had to work with Windows phones. I had to work with Google phones, Samsung, everything, right? I don't like Apple phones. I don't. I like Samsung and I like Google. Their phones are good, in my opinion, because I worked a lot with them, and I mean a lot. And as far as computers go, I like Macs. But I mean, for somebody who likes to customize a computer, PC is probably for you. For those of us who want to just turn something on, have it work, never have any problems with RAM or anything, Mac.
You know, I feel it's like somebody who gets a card to fix up.
Yeah, it's like,
Mhm.
are you the type to have a fixer-upper, or do you want it just to work?
Yeah. Do you want a car that just turns on in the morning, without you having to check the carburetor and shit?
Yeah. Because at least it's dependable. Like, mine has never failed me. I've had it 5 to 7 years, somewhere in there. I always forget now. Because I think I had it 3 years when Jason and I split. Maybe it's 6 years. Maybe I'm in between. Yeah, Cass, so that's why I'm saying, because I know you and I know how much you use technology and how much you can take from technology, I would highly suggest just a Mac. And you don't have to get anything crazy because you don't use anything crazy. Like if you're just using it for some digital art and then maybe making prints once in a while, you do not need anything high end, you know? Like Gabe and I streaming and stuff as much as we do, even for streaming I don't think you need something high end. Really, I don't. But I mean it's up to you, but yeah. I would almost see if someone you know has a computer you could have before you go into like financing one. But yeah. I mean, I think Macs and PCs are equal. It's just depending on what you use it for. Okay? I mean, it's similar to, are trucks better than cars? Well, it depends on what you need it for.
Mm-hmm.
It's all situational. I can't speak to that, Crane. I don't know. I don't know why it is. Maybe it's because it's so easy to use, but it has been great for me, personally. But like I said, I can only speak to my experience, and I used to build my own computers, and it was a pain in the ass and a waste of time. And I think at the time it was mainly because I was trying to like keep up with all my friends that were doing it, and it was like the thing to do. Like back in the day when everybody used to compete on Xbox for game points, all that stuff, and achievements. It's like, okay, this is only gonna last for so long, you know? But I think, like I said, each has their strengths, each has their weaknesses, but Macs are far better for artists. I mean, it's been proven. That part is true. So depending on what you need it for, you know, a PC might be better, but if you're going the I gotta stream route, get a Mac. Because I can hook 4 cameras up to this thing and not have a problem. I'd say Android Paladin. But actually, Gabe and I now have Google phones. Which
is basically Android.
Yeah, it's basically the same feeling to it as an Android phone. I've never had an Apple phone, but I have, I've done my time with them, I'll say that. Because when I was in mobile games, I had to work with them on a daily basis. I had to work with the shit they put up with, you know, and gave me, because they would fight us a lot on our games. Games were extra hard to put on Apple. But yeah. But like I said, it depends on what you need it for. Some people are crazy about Apple, but I mean, Crane, look at it like this. It's like a religion. Mac versus PC is like a religion. Same with politics. One side or the other. You're going to get extremists on both sides. Okay? No matter what, you're always going to get crazy people. But you're also going to get people like Gabe and I who see the point in having one versus the other depending on what it's for. You know? Oh. Ushi, my ex-husband used to use Ruby. I think he hated it. You're talking about Ruby on Rails, right? I don't even know why they used it. I forgot why he said they needed to use it. Because it's old. And don't worry, Paladin, I'm gonna dirty this up later with the texture. I know it looks pretty clean right now, but we'll dirty it up. That's what it was, yeah, and they were like, I think they were actually experimenting with it to see if it was good, and then they were like, no. Like it wasn't worth learning or something like that. I just remember him complaining about it. Isn't that what Twitter used for a long time? Am I remembering that right? transparency on this. Crane here is our fear instigator. He likes to make people start fearing things. Everything is the end of the world. It's kind of funny.
I just asked my buddy who works at Nickelodeon. Everyone at Nickelodeon uses Macs.
Oh. Oh, did you ask Gene?
Yeah. So, in fact, they just got new Macs. Like, they got them upgraded or whatever. So, I mean, they were using Macs, but...
There you go.
So just so you know, or you go into a magazine company.
They're gonna
You
use a
know,
Mac.
they're using Macs.
Yeah.
You go... I think the only people that might not use Macs would probably be people who are running like 3ds
Oh.
Macs.
So, at my job, I had to use 3D and I had to use image stuff. The best 3D programs are on PC. I will give you that. They are not on Mac. Cinema 4D sucks. Okay? Blender sucks. You need 3ds Max or Maya to be legitimate. Those are on PC. So, I actually had 2 computers at my old job. I had a PC for doing all my modeling, texture, lighting, all that shit. Then, when I was done with that and I exported it to an OBJ, I would bring it into Unity on my Mac, and I would do the rest there. And I would actually do all my painting and everything on my Mac, save it to the server, pull it over on my PC to actually preview it on there. So I was going back and forth between the two, okay? But I only used my PC for 3D work. I'll give you that. Yeah, Blender's interface is shit. They have had so long to improve it, and their UI is junk. Because of how much it can handle, Crane. And that's what we're saying with, in terms of, if you can actually amp your computer up to be at a Mac level to be able to handle all the imagery stuff and all that, like with the memory and the RAM and all that, that is usually why. But, like I said, it really depends on what you're doing. Yeah, Cass, you're gonna want to, but it's not gonna be cheap. That's part of the reason I feel like they're so expensive, is because you're paying for the ease of use. You're paying for convenience, you guys. There is something to that. Like, Gabe and I pay for convenience all the time when it comes to conventions. To have a hotel that's close to a convention as opposed to one that's far away that you gotta take an Uber from, saving time in the morning. You know, it's the same thing. Like, I never get viruses on my Mac, so I'm saving time with all my work by having something that I don't have to worry about. You know, same damn thing.
I think basically, Cass, you gotta think of it this way. Gossamer, you gotta think of it this way.
Sorry, I was saying Cass too.
The chances of your, if let's say you gotta get a laptop for whatever reason, so you can bring it to school, I'm assuming. The chances of your PC laptop breaking down over a MacBook breaking down is like way greater. Like your that PC laptop is not gonna last nearly as long as you'll end up buying 2 of them in the 2 to 3, maybe even 4, in the time that it takes for your Mac to go to shit.
Not to mention, if your PC does go to shit, it's a lot harder to get it fixed when you don't know what you're doing, or if you don't know anybody who fixes computers, you're gonna have a hard time. Whereas if you have a Mac, you can bring it to the Genius Bar. Honestly, that's why it's so, I guess, popular, because a lot of people don't know technology. And for the people that don't know technology, Macs are honestly a better bet, just because they have all these things in place that are kind of safeguards, you know? But for me, since I grew up on a PC, I know how to get around stuff like that, like administrator privileges and all that junk, where normal people don't, so nothing ever gets fucked up. They're not going to go delete their hard drive, you know? because they're not allowed to. It's gated. That's why it's so mainstream, you know?
So I mean, like, personally speaking, I had laptops, and you know, like, I never got viruses or nothing like that. You know, like, I was smart. I worked at Best Buy. I got discounts on like virus programs and shit, so I would get that stuff, or I would just pirate it. So I was smart in what I used my laptop for. But I definitely burned through at least close to 3 laptops in the span of maybe 4 to 5 years. And I don't know if it was because of technology changing so quickly and, you know, I needed to upgrade so much, but it does seem that like a PC laptop doesn't last as long. And the beautiful thing about a PC desktop is that, yeah, you can swap out the RAM. You can get more RAM. You can, on some laptops, yeah, you can get
It's
more
just
RAM.
so much work.
But yeah, it is a lot of work, and you gotta have a little bit of know-how. So I mean, if you're not,
tech savvy and you
Yeah.
don't want to be, you're not going to want a PC. The other thing is, for those of you who are very PC centric, have you ever owned a Mac and known PCs? Like, Gabe and I have been on both sides of the spectrum, okay? Multiple times, multiple years, all that stuff. A lot of the people I've talked to about this, they, like I said, this gets to be a religion thing. They get very offended, very defensive. And it's like, have you been on both sides? And they'll say, no, I've always owned a PC. Well, your argument's a little invalid then.
I was that guy. Like, hands down, I was the dude that was like, no, PC or Macs. Ugh.
I also hated Macs. Honestly, I hated the politics of Macs.
Yeah.
And I hated the people I knew that used Macs.
Mm-hmm.
But
now I understand why they use. Once I got one, I was like, I get it now. This makes a lot of sense.
and like I said, that's only because I think we're artists too,
Mm-hmm.
so we know what we need them for. So I mean, if you have never had a Mac and never needed to have one, I get it. You don't need it. But I mean, if you're eventually going to be, you know, in art and stuff, you're going to want to at least think about it. Especially if you're not tech savvy. Like, it's funny because I think about all the parents I knew growing up who had PCs, and it's like, you know, I bet they would have done better with a Mac. You know, even printer setup. Were you one of the people that saved PC parents with their printers?
No.
Like, they couldn't figure out how to hook up their printer
Mm-mm.
all the time. I went to friends' houses to actually help their parents set up their damn printer because they had a PC, like an HP, and they didn't know how to do that. It got so old.
Yeah.
Yes, Ushi, yeah. It was propaganda.
Mm-hmm.
Straight up. And it was based on not even the computers themselves, but the visual representations via people.
Yeah.
It's it's not even relevant.
Like
Those
it's-
commercials are horrible.
It's like, oh, you have a Mac. Oh, you must be a nerd.
yeah,
Get it?
how?
Yeah.
Those were bullying.
Yeah.
Straight up. They were terrible. Oh yeah, Linux. No one wants to know Linux though. I mean, unless you're like in it and you're a programmer and you need to, and that's what we're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Only use what you need to know. Like, use the right tool for the job. That's the end all be all, right? You're not gonna use a fork to eat soup, unless it's pho. You know, pho. I mean, at a certain point, right? Like me using the PC and the Mac interchangeably. I'd use a fork for the noodles. I'll use a spoon for the broth. You know, whatever. Anyway, off topic, but relevant, I guess. What are you guys doing right now? Help bring me down. Bring me off my my crazy horse here. Oh shit, what's that? It's 28. If anybody has any questions on what I'm doing at any point, let me know. I know some of the things I'm going very fast, and I don't know if anybody's actually watching what I'm doing anyway, but if you are and you want to know what I'm doing, let me know. I'll be happy to explain. Because I'm using a lot of clipping masks and a lot of layer settings. So, like I said. I found out recently a couple people don't come to my streams because we get heated like this and it makes them uncomfortable. If that's true, if that's you, I'm sorry we do that to you. I guess if you want to let us know that we do that privately, you can. It's up to you. I can't promise we won't get heated like this, because this is kind of just who we are. I've tried a lot in my past to try to be the quiet girl that doesn't say anything. That's not me.
Mr. Crane, real painters only use one layer. Smart graphic designers use multiple layers.
Yeah, is he coming down on me for how many layers? Oh, that's for digitally painting, fool. Use the right tool for the job, yeah? Okay? This is not the same. I'm gonna say, if you wanna replicate traditional via digital, use one layer. You know, so you don't get hinged on doing something specific digitally and not being able to replicate it traditionally. What I'm doing right now is what I used to do for mobile games. So I'm just in that mode right now, so nothing you see is anything I've used traditionally. Like, the way I'm going about things, there's nothing traditional about it, okay? Not really. It's all to be read at a small size, for the most part. So, I don't call this really digitally painting. I really don't. I don't see it that way. I don't see it as painting. I see it as a form of rendering, but this is not painting to me. I find that very weird, because like when I actually digitally paint, I wouldn't see it like this, you know? But like I said, that's just me. Oh, Ushi. If it ever does get too intense for you, I think that means I've lost my shit. If I'm, like, just on here screaming incoherencies, if I turn into that, what's that guy's name? Alex something? The money guy? What's his name?
Sinclair, I think?
Alex Ross?
No, that's a painter.
Alex Ross is a painter?
I think, yeah. He paints all the pretty things from Marvel and DC.
Oh, no, whatever. The money guy. I don't know what it's called. Anyway, if I start doing stuff like that guy, I think Gabe would slow me down before any of you guys did. But either way, we don't want to make anyone uncomfortable, but at the same time, you know, we can't help who we are. I mean, you must have came here in the beginning for some reason, you know. Oh, I can't wait, Crane. That'll be great. Alex Jones, thank you. Yeah, if I ever go Alex Jones on you guys, tell me. Infowars, yeah. He got sued? Oh man, what did he get sued for? I'm not surprised. Or if is it Tommy Loren? Tammy?
Tony? The blonde lady?
Tommy. I think her name is
Tommy?
Tomi, I'm
That
pretty
blonde
sure.
girl?
Yeah.
Ugh.
Like, she's like the lady Alex Jones.
I'm surprised she hasn't been, like, knocked the fuck out by someone. Any of these people.
She keeps getting all these weird things that, like, are affecting her. Anyway, I don't mean to talk about real stuff. Yeah. I assume everybody comes here for Gabe's softness, really. Yeah, Gabe is the winner here when it comes to soothing old wounds. Old and new, I'll say. Gabe is the soft, I am the hard. That's why I'm Papa.
Damn.
What?
iMac Pro 27-inch. $5,000.
That's a good computer.
That's like
though.
the best one.
That's a desktop too.
Mm-hmm.
You're probably scaring Cass more than helping her.
No, Cash, don't listen to me. I'm just looking
How
at.
about you don't say anything about that unless it's like helping her?
Well, no, I'm looking at the prices and they're pretty nice for a Pro. It's like $1,300.
Mine's a 27-inch Pro.
Is it?
Yeah, it was not $5,000.
Well, it is now.
That's weird.
That's like the top of the line computer, by the way.
You sure it's not the one that's like got that extra thing that Tim got, that little black cylinder thing?
No, that thing is just $3,000.
What? Weird.
Yeah.
So the new version of what I have is $5,000.
Yeah. Didn't you pay like $3,500? $3,000?
Yeah.
Hmm.
It was like $3,000,
Oh no, they have
but it's lasted.
Oh no, this is like a really upgraded. No, the regular 27 inches, 1,800.
Mhm.
I don't know what's up with this one. Yeah, I don't know why it's
Yeah, I was gonna say there's got to be a reason
Oh,
that's that much money.
it's Retina 5K display.
Okay, Retina will.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. No, the one that you've got is only 1,800, which is pretty.
Yeah, that makes sense because
Yeah.
then it would go down in price.
Wow.
Yeah.
That makes me feel good.
Why didn't you mention Retina, Gabe?
I didn't see that it said Retina.
Retina will make anything nuts.
Mhm. But yeah, like
It's like, oh, it's double the resolution
Yeah.
and the size that you're getting. Okay, cool.
the MacBook Pro is only 13, which is, I mean, like if you want to get something that's comparable to it in a PC, you'll probably be paying like 800, 700. But why buy something once when you can pay twice for it to last longer?
Ushi's right. I mean, if you eventually want a career, getting into an art career, usually you do get a laptop. I did. He's right. I mean, I had a work laptop.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the first Mac I actually started using religiously, was the one that work gave me. And I remember being like, I don't know how to use this. I use PCs all the time. And they're like, well, this is what we use. And I was like, okay. So then I got used to that. And then eventually they got a desktop. And then I also so I had a laptop, a desktop, and a PC. So I was knee deep in it. Using it all the time. But yeah, I mean, Cass, if you eventually want like an art desk job, yeah, but I don't know. If you're still figuring out what you want to do with your art and where you want to be, I mean, that's kind of a more long-term goal for you, I think. I think 1 to 2K is about safe. You'll get something good with that. Because Gabe, how much is the equivalent to your Mac top? I'm gonna call it.
My Mac top?
Yeah.
The Air?
Yeah. I'm calling it a Mac top. Because I feel like it. Because I play by no one's rules but my own.
But wait, what was the question?
How much is it now?
Oh,
Because Cass has a 1 to 2K, or Goss has a 1 to 2K range.
yeah, I almost wouldn't even recommend the MacBook Air anymore. Like,
An
it's,
Air kind of sucks just because it doesn't have enough of the ports. Too. It doesn't even have a CD drive.
well, nothing has CD drives anymore.
I know,
Unfortunately.
which sucks, but I mean, honestly, my computer doesn't even have a CD drive anymore.
But
But to be fair, I never use it.
They might have just gotten rid of. So the MacBook doesn't have any more things. Doesn't have things.
Get a Game Boy. Sorted. Yeah, you know your shit. Obviously.
But also the thing with the Air is that it's slightly slower. I think it's
Yeah.
like 1.7 gigahertz, whereas like a MacBook Pro.
I had a MacBook Pro for work.
Yeah.
Compared to the MacBook Air, the Pro was insanely good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, don't get an Air. I agree with Gabe on this. Don't get a MacBook Air.
I got an Air for portability.
Yeah, but you don't even.
Which is like
That's stupid.
I keep telling myself that, hey, I can go anywhere with this now, and that's
It's a laptop, though. Any laptop you could go anywhere with.
No, I know, but it's a lot lighter, and it is like infinitely lighter than. It's like twice as light as a
But
MacBook.
I feel
Pro.
like that's so not the problem
No.
anymore.
No.
I'd
and,
rather have a better computer and have it be heavier.
Yeah.
I would much rather have that.
And the so the MacBook Pro, like the what is it, the cheapest you can get is $1,300, which is pretty damn good.
It's worth it.
Wow. And really, I think the only price, like the price jump to $1,500, is really only the storage, and it goes from 128 to 256. So it doubles the storage, but I mean, if you really like, I don't, I'm smart. If I need the storage, then I just get a portable hard drive.
I don't think I've ever upgraded for storage.
Yeah.
I've never needed to. And if we don't need to, Goss, you don't need to. So, and yeah, I'm gonna make that claim.
Yeah, Pellet. It's like nobody uses. Yeah, CD drives are dead. Nobody uses CDs anymore.
It's true. And what sucks is I have so many CDs, and I can't use anything that's on a CD anyway, because everything is outdated or gone.
Mm-hmm.
Like, at first I was mad about that. The only time I've ever needed the CD drive I bought was if I'm ripping an old CD. And then I feel embarrassed because I'm ripping a CD. And it's like, okay, well, it's almost easier to buy it again on iTunes than to go through the process of ripping it again.
And they got you.
It's smart. It's
Yeah.
smart as hell.
But honestly, like it's like what did we get the other day?
What?
Or what movie did we? Oh, Deadpool. Because we're not really gonna buy the DVD.
No.
You know?
I've got 3 binders full of DVDs and Blu-rays. I don't want physical things anymore. I don't. If I could take all those movies I have and somehow get the digital equivalents, 100,000,000% I would do that. But not all of them have the digital equivalents.
And store them on the cloud.
Something.
And like I kept thinking, like back in the day, I kept thinking, well, what if the Earth goes to shit? And we can't access the internet. I'll still have my DVDs.
You're going to have way more to worry about.
I'm not worried about watching shit while, the Earth is going to shit. I'm going to be worried about learning survival techniques.
Yeah.
That's
I remember you said that to me, and I gave you like a double take. Like, that's what you're worried about? You're worried about watching House of Cards? What? Do I know you? Gabe, we need to find cans of beans. We're not going to watch any shows.
You know what you should be collecting?
I'll have Xena on DVD, though.
You know what you should be
always
collecting is cassette tapes.
Why?
Because those things, AA batteries, easy to charge. I can show you how to charge a AA battery with a potato. Guess what? Then you can listen to fucking Careless Whispers all day long.
It's just whisper.
Well, this is the remix. There's a lot of whispers.
This is the applied Mexican to it.
Careless Whispers.
Careless Whispers? Spurs? Yeah. Spurs.
You'll be watching your DVDs. Sure.
If I just have to watch Xena for eternity, I'm cool with that.
Oh, there you go. We're gonna go hang out with Nightshade.
Cool. Oh, he's got his cabin.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm calling you, man.
Or
Alright.
Morse coding.
Did you say Morse or Morris?
Morse coding. Morse.
Which is it, Gabe?
Morse.
Yes. I thought you said Morris.
Morse coding.
And I was like, No.
Though it hadn't dawned to me that, or occurred to me or whatever, that Morse was a person until we watched A Beautiful Mind.
Well, that's cute.
And he mentioned him by name, and I was like, oh, right. I guess that makes a lot of sense.
Oh, right.
Right.
Right. Oh,
Quite right.
how about that? Huh. Mirrors. There you go. You could make a house out of mirrors. There you go. House out of CDs. House of CDs.
I'm telling you that you'll make a condensation reflector.
You know what I would do? I would take a drone and I would put a bunch of old CDs all over it so that it'd be flying around blinding people.
Fuck you!
Everybody's trying to farm in the post-apocalyptic world. I'm blinding people with my CD drone.
God damn Ashley and her damn drones.
I'm the much needed humor that the post-apocalyptic
Mhm.
world is gonna need. They're gonna be thanking me. They're gonna be thanking me with all the corn they've grown.
Mm-hmm. And the okra.
Ushi, that was Twilight Zone. 120%. It's absolutely correct. I just watched that episode actually recently.
Oh, yeah.
That
That was-
broke
that's-
my heart.
that's
I loved it.
Literally like the second episode, I think.
I loved it
Yeah.
so much, though.
His little
Twilight
glass.
Zone holds up. What?
His little nerd glasses. He's like,
Oh
oh,
my
oh
God.
no.
That
Oh,
that
no.
is tragedy.
Yeah.
That is what that is. So it's basically the 80s. Do we still have electricity? I don't know. Is
What?
in this
No, power grid is down.
okay.
That's the
so-
first thing that's gonna go, people. By the way, power
so there you
grid.
go, Calavera. Nope, not the 80s.
No way, man.
No power grid, man.
That's why I'm telling you. Learn how to get some batteries. Learn how to recharge them via a potato or an onion. I think an onion.
Paladin, is that why you're it's a potato. Is that why you're now freelance? Because you used to wish that? I'd say so. Damn it. Wrong layer.
Learn how to make a wind turbine thing. You're gonna need it.
The only thing you know how to do is change a tire.
Hey, when we're stuck on the side of the road and there's raiders coming,
I know how to do more of that kind of junk than you do.
I'm telling you, you don't know how to fix a tire.
No, that's what I'm saying. All you know how to do is fix a tire.
I can do things. I can throw people. I'll be the guy throwing the people while you're fixing the thing.
Okay, that I can do. I can deal with that. Mad Max World. Is that what we're doing? I understand, Paladin.
The Knight Rider!
Oh, Nightshade would be awesome! How's the drone flying? Obviously potato power.
Come on,
Idiot.
guys. Do you know what the sun is? It's only out right now.
Ooh, Crane, good point. What happened to bath salts, am I right? Where did that fad? Is that the right word? Fad?
Fad.
Where'd that fad go?
The fucking
Did everybody die that was doing it?
the
And
U.S.
those done?
regulatory committee came in. They're like, yo,
Okay,
absolutely not.
as far as I can tell, and yeah, I'm being a stupid white girl about this, but bath salts was just the street name, right? You can't just go get some Epsom salt
No.
at Target and snort that shit and go crazy, right?
It might have been.
I think it was just called bath salts, is like, you know, angel dust and all that kind of crap. I
No,
don't think it
this was over the
actually-
counter shit that you could get. They sold them at gas stations and stuff.
So it was fucking bath salt?
I don't know if it was bath salt, but it was like fake marijuana.
What? Oh,
Yeah.
sativa?
Yeah, it was shit like that, I think.
No way.
Yeah, I think it was like shit like that. Like they used to sell it, like that's where people would get it, and I think you had to like do it in a specific manner.
And then it became bath
Mhm.
salts? I'm so confused. Does anyone know anything about this? And if you do, I might kind of judge you just for knowing, but if you're just interested, that's different. I just want to know. I'm curious. Like, if you know too much, I'll know you do them, but for the most part, I just want to know. Because, I mean, I bet for a long time, you know, Americans and stuff were just, I guess like me, were looking at, you know, Target and looking at lavender Epsom salt and being like, man, people are snorting that? Like, what? What? You know,
Spice. Let the spice flow.
get it.
Yeah, the synthetic marijuana shit was all the rage for a while.
Like an apple crane. You can get narcotics. Oh. Spongy, that's awesome. How'd you find that out? Yeah, I thought it was just a, it was just the name. Yeah.
For educational purposes. Sure.
For the people that can't look it up on the internet, I guess.
Yeah. Or for the people that want to seek this shit out to like convert it into things.
someone comes in rubbing their nose. I made for educational purposes.
That's what I'm talking about. Like when they have
Oh,
these.
because the animals get into stuff.
Ah.
That makes sense.
When they have like these shows like SVU and stuff.
Yeah.
They're basically teaching the new generation of people how to not get caught murdering people or fucking with people, you know?
I guess.
Like, it's like, all right, I saw in SVU that they go in this room and they've got, like, UV lights. Make sure to clean everything properly with this, this, and this. You want to melt a body? Get this specific barrel, throw it in, get some lye. It won't melt the barrel.
That ain't
Thanks.
SVU.
No, that
That's
was on
Breaking Bad.
Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
Thank you, Breaking Bad, for teaching me how to melt a body
I mean,
without melting my.
When in Rome.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I think the caveat there
They always
is
confess.
the people that are doing this probably won't melt the body until worse comes to worse and they have to do it fast and then they screw up. That's, I think, the difference. Well, here on Cloverkin Stream, we talk about melting bodies. Not necessarily on the daily, but as your dose of fun. There you go.
My uncle was melted once.
You know,
Yeah,
I was
sure.
struck by lightning 7 times. Once when I was just checking the mail. Taking my dog for a walk. Oh, green. They have a bunch of weed that doesn't stink. It's called edibles. Have your
Oh,
friends
wow.
get edibles.
That's crazy, Spongy.
That is crazy. I guess there's no definite, like, they use it if their pet ingests it.
Oh, yeah.
So I guess you couldn't. Hi, troop of echoes. Oh, sorry. Welcome.
This is how we greet people
We're
now.
talking about drugs right now. Just to catch you up. And this is what I'm talking about, being intelligent and learning about things and just knowing about them, you know? Not necessarily to do them or anything like that, but to know. Like, obviously it helps out Spongy in her situation. So, you know, maybe it can help other people. You never know.
That is totally true, though. Like, weed never smelled as stinky as it does these days.
Really?
Because people, like, they've gotten better at growing it. Like, they know how to make it real good. Like, they're really good about it. And it's not like shitty stuff that you could just get
Oh, skunk?
from Mexico, that's been, like, dried out for, like, forever.
Yeah.
Now it's like, oh, no, this stuff is good. This is genetically engineered to fuck you up. Like, you can smell this a mile away, dude.
Okay, Gabe. You can pull up anytime.
Dude, I'm such a pothead, man. I'm not.
No.
That was, but when we went into, like, the one in Seattle,
Mm-hmm.
that place was super, like they have a bouncer in there.
They
He's like-
wouldn't let you open anything in the store either.
Yeah, that's
Super
crazy.
legit, yeah.
Like,
Granted, all I got was a hard candy. That was it.
I always feel so intimidating going in there, though. Like, trying to talk to them. Like, because I feel it's almost like going into a comic book shop and you don't know about comics and you go in there and like, hey, do you guys have anything good to read?
Nightshade, they used it as a meth lab?
Whoa.
What happened to it after that? Did you get a... Did they reimburse you a car?
Shit, probably not.
Dog that ate a few ounces of chocolate, not all the symptoms of marijuana. Oh, no. Oh.
Wow.
So animals can OD on marijuana. Or maybe even cannabis oil? Cannabis?
Well, but it was chocolate, though.
Oh, so it was a double toxic thing.
Yeah.
Oh. Puppy.
How
No.
big was your car? Hey, man, if you can make, like, just one thing of meth, then you're good.
Yeah. Emerald City? Yeah. Not surprised. Because you get a lot of people there that they see that Colin as the time.
Yeah.
A couple of our friends do. Gabe and I will not do anything like that normally.
Mhm.
But even in Seattle, we're very, what's the word about it? We just don't, like, because we're there for work.
Mhm.
So we work. And
Yes.
I definitely cannot do anything during work.
Yeah, it's not like we're at the show like lit.
Yeah, no.
No,
No,
that's
no,
silly.
no. Like, I won't even do it the day I'm leaving or anything. So I don't end up doing anything, is the thing. Like, a couple of my friends will be like, hey, you want to go do it? And I'm like, I just don't want to be fucked up for it. If I had, like, a day set aside and I wasn't working, yeah. Yeah. But if I am working or I'm trying to catch a plane, no. Like, that's the other thing. People who drink before you get on a plane, how do you do it? I would not be able to do that. That's crazy. I don't want to be hammered going on a plane. That's scary. What if something happens? You gotta be, like, aware. Especially if you're sitting by the exit. You know what I'm talking about. Okay, Sponge, you lurk. Oh, hi, Soggy. Thank you for all the info, Spongy. And you even live in Chicago, Ushi. Oh, wow. Nightshade, that's nuts. Oh, don't worry about your grammar. It's a chat room. It's not an essay. If I ever get on you about your grammar in a chat room, I'm just pulling your leg. If you're writing me a professional email and you fuck up, I'm gonna judge you. Alright. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to add some quick texture to this. If I remember right, Paladin did want a little bit dirty here, so 30. I did. But that's because I like you, Nightshade. If I tease you guys, it's because I like you. Do-do-do-do-do.
Do-do-do-do-do-do-do.
You'll finish it, Ushi. We believe in you. Ugh. That's a lot more epic than I thought it'd be. Hey. Okay. So, what else? Do you guys want to see me sub out my images for these ones so you can see what it looks like? I'm gonna assume that's a yes. Oh. Remember when exporting to bring it back down to the size it needs to be. I'm still gonna do some stuff with the moss, but for the moment, asset, bit cover. Okay. Just to see how this goes. What's Journey? June? Well, hey. No, Ashley, this is actually for one of my Twitch viewers who got a mentorship for Twitch through me. I'm doing an overlay for them. So real quick, I'm going to show you what it will look like.
How is it getting too big? There's literally an end to it. It's literally like we've plotted the course for you. You can't make it too big.
Yeah, Calavera, what do you mean even by that?
Are you adding extra pages? Extra days?
Yeah. How? Oh, wait. Unless he's doing it as a comic and he's doing too many panels.
Ah.
Try to boil it down to absolutely what needs to be shown. Okay, look, I'm inside a castle now. Alright. So, let's say this was mine. I'm doing this live on my thing so you can see how my stuff is pieced together, you guys. So I'm going to take that off. I'm going to take my little vine off. Where's my vine at? There we go. So, were this mine, I would take it. Paladin, you here? You best be here. And then my jar, go in front of the jar. Okay, so it needs to be a little bit smaller. That could be cute. If I move my thing over and... So, Paladin, what we could do is move yours up so you've got the little dragon that pops out of the little hole there, and then move the bit jar up. Because I could move the bit jar up, but I don't necessarily want to. It'll screw up a lot of my stuff. Someone throw me a bit, would ya? Would ya? We could also just put this on top of my donation bar, too. Oh, good, Paladin. Yay. It's part of your tutorial, yeah? So this is what you get when you get a Twitch mentorship with Cloverkin. Anyway, Gabe, throw me some bits. You got some bits?
Mm-hmm.
Just a bit. A cent. Please, just a cent. Ah, thank you, Troop. Okay. And there you go. How's that? Does that work out? Oh, and a puppy! Yeah. Awesome. Okay. So that works out mighty fine. So you guys can see how this kind of crap works. You gotta learn to have fun, y'all. Have fun. Okay. Paladin, I'm gonna put your name on this banner, too. Unless you want something else on the banner. Other than your name. Also, I've lost my mouse, apparently. Where have you gone? Oh, there it is. Okay. So I was gonna put your name on this, but I'm gonna do that later because that's gonna be a little finessing. And then all these parted out bits, I'll show you how those work. And then I'm gonna finish up the moss. Did you want me to make this more, this is gonna sound bad, but more dirty? Because what I can do is put a grunge map on it, technically. I can show you what that looks like. I just don't know how dirty you want it, if you know what I mean. Because if I know you wanted that old inking style, that animation, but I also figured you might want something that's kind of, I don't know, more techie digital too, just so it looks not cheesy, but it looks kind of what you wanted. I know that sounds weird. It's always hard to describe what I'm talking about when it comes to like a feel of something, you know what I mean? So let me go jack a grunge map real quick. I'll show you what I mean. Okay. You guys can usually find grunge maps for free online. You just gotta look. Oh, that actually looks a bit better. So do you want it like this, where it's more realistic? Don't worry about the moss. Like I said, I'm going to fix that up. Or do you want it more happy-go-lucky castle? Which would you like? Also, what color are you gonna want your dragon? I'm gonna assume orange because it goes with all your stuff. A little dirtier. You got it. Oh, bye, Calavera. Are you serious? Bye. Okay, so you want the dirtier version. We can do that. Alright, I'm gonna save this then. I have to go back to working. I worked an extra hour. So, Paladin, do you kind of get the gist of what I've done then? I'm gonna still make you a dragon. I'm gonna still do this. We should have it finalized mid this week. Does that sound good? Now that we've added the little dragon, okay? That's me just being nice. Usually animation obviously costs more, but I like you and I like what you're doing, so I want to help you. I'm too nice. It really is a bad thing. I'm too nice with some things, not with others. Anyway. Does anybody have any questions about Journey June? Anything you want to talk about? Did you finish the number? Okay. I'll need to, did you send it to me? Yeah, does anybody want to talk about Journey June real quick? Gossamer, we didn't get to, are you still here? I do want to help you with your thing, if you're curious on what you should do. Oh good, Paladin, you are? Oh good. Okay. Well, I guess we can only win from here on out, right? So, let's see. Yeah, I don't know if Cass is still here or not. We're gonna have to message her or something. But you're here. Okay. I mean, do you want us to help you figure out your thing or no? Because we could do like an Instagram live between us, like after this or something, or like a FaceTime. I don't know. And then, I don't know, Crane. Why do adults like the taste of Cinnamon Toast Crunch? Oh, good, Paladin. I'm glad. Yeah, we're gonna get this, as you guys say, sorted. I like that. I like that a lot. But Goss, if you want to talk about it, let's talk on Instagram, because I don't want anyone here to feel lost when it comes to their Journey June. If you guys seriously have any problems at all, I really do want you to message us, okay? Because I want everything to be clear and concise. Day 4 might be a little strange, depending on which way you guys pick. Real quick, I'll explain. I think it is day 4. Day 4 has to do with the reaction to the call, basically. So, depending on if your hero accepts or rejects it, okay? If they're a reluctant hero or if they're an eager hero, okay? Day 4 is going to be different. So, if they're a reluctant hero and they reject the call, that's going to be the day where something convinces them to go. So, like, you know, they don't want to go on this thing, but their grandma ends up getting sick and needs medicine, then they have to go. Okay? So something outside of themselves draws them on the adventure. If you pick the acceptance and your hero was like, oh yeah, let's go, fuck it, I want to go, that's going to just be an extra day of them prepping or grabbing stuff, saying goodbye to people, something like that. It's a good way to place another story element in on that day. So that's one of those reasons I would say look ahead in the prompts and see if there's a way you can work something in. Does that make sense? So like I said, if that ends up like being confusing, if any of them do, let us know. I'm gonna bring my little things back here, or else I'm gonna forget. There we go. So does anyone have any other questions? No idea what it is. You don't know what Cinnamon Toast Crunch is? There's a candy store in London, right? It was London, that says American Candy Store. And in this candy store, they have all American candy. And up on the back wall, there's American cereals. So I'm willing to bet that store has Cinnamon Toast Crunch, because basically all our cereal is candy. It's really bad. But anyway, Just try to figure it out for now and ask questions tomorrow, maybe making a happy list. Yeah, I would try with that. So if you're even having trouble making a hero, I mean, I'm glad we started this early so that people can try to figure this stuff out. It does taste fantastic. It's true, Soggy. Oh my god. But yeah, Cass, I would figure out what you want to draw and what you could draw over and over again that you like to draw that could potentially have a story around it. So I think your bunny fish could work. I do. Because then it could be on like a rainbow fish storybook thing. You remember the rainbow fish? Or they had a rainbow scale, I think. But the problem was that I feel like they were too detailed with how you did them. Maybe just tone down the tail, make it like, I don't know, just a regular fin. Because it looked like a butterfly wing. I mean, unless you were going for that, but it was still pretty detailed. But I mean, that's just my opinion too. It's whatever you feel comfortable with, like I said, drawing over and over and over again. But if by tomorrow, I'd say you aren't feeling comfortable with the design or anything, message us and we'll talk about it. Yeah, horchata. Yeah. Horchata. Whore. What else? Yeah, we're getting down to the wire of the Journey June stuff. So if you guys haven't looked through the list, like seriously read through the list. And if you have already designed a hero and you're feeling good about them, I would take them through the journey preliminarily. Like take them, read through the prompts list, and apply them to every prompt and see how that goes. You can never prepare too much, you know. So, yeah. Frangelico. Whoa. Okay. So I talked to Paladin about when he'll get his thing. Talked to Cass about the thingy. Dog gagging or something. You two, Soggy, later. We're gonna go too. Tomorrow is Memorial Day. I realize this, but Gabe is also going to be streaming at 9 p.m. CST. So if you guys are lit by then, if you have nothing else to do, if you're gone, that's okay. Gabe's still going to be streaming. Do you know what you're going to be streaming?
Probably Journey June shit.
Okay, so Gabe will be working on Journey June. So if you guys want to set aside time on a day off to work on it, if you have the day off, do it then. Otherwise, we'll see you tomorrow. And I'll be there in spirit, obviously. Lit party and Gabe stream? Always. Always. Yeah, we'll see you guys. Thanks for coming. I appreciate it. Hope you learned something. Bye!